Sorry about the lateness. There's an excuse for that, I swear. Okay. All right, one moment. Let me get everybody so far. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that should be a good start so far. And then, even though he's going to show up later, I'm going to go ahead and tag Chris as well. All right, let's see here. Oh, well, it helps if I, don't have dyslexic moment. Wow, I'm just not going to spell anything right. It's going to be okay. There we go. All right. Sorry about being late, guys. I'm so sorry. All right. Okay. Hey, Adam. This thing hates me today. We're just gonna. I love how it's just like, oh, you want to go live on your event? I'm like, I am. I have not magically developed any kind of omnipresence, so that would be new. All right. Hey, Chris. Oh, Caleb, here we go. Let me see if I can get Caleb screen real quick. Oh, he did the same thing that great minds think alike. We have a tendency to you send me an invite after I send you an invite, and I'm.
Well, here we are. We invited
I
each other.
know, seriously. All right, and let's see if we can't get.
Hey, shout out to Chris. I know Chris Holiday's on here. Hey, Chris Holiday, champion his boy and actually got his first 2 champion wins.
Saw
so
that.
Shout out my boy, Chris Holiday.
Dang, yeah,
Holiday
like
Kennels over in Mississippi.
Like getting them wins, man. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been fun to watch. Like I swear, like I just saw him last week with a bunch of ribbons, and now he's got even more. So it's just one of those things where I was like, yes.
Oh yeah, he got a hunger. Well, him and his wife, they got a hunger, and their children too. And he got that show bug, and they're hunting. They are hunting.
Yes,
I love it.
he is hunting, and I love it. Let's see here. I'm trying to get here.
Hey, funny story real quick about Chris Holiday too.
Oh, hit it.
I think I told you, man. Yeah, we were me and him, he messaged me one night. We were sitting there talking, and then he sits there. I'm just like, can you talk? Because we were like starting to talk about breeding or something.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I call him, man, me and him were sitting there talking on the phone, and he's like, man, after like 30 minutes talking, he's like, you're never gonna believe what happened. I'm just like, what? He's like, man, I got in a wreck. Like, if y'all you saw the pictures that his wife posted on Facebook?
I think so, yeah, because I remember being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you'll walk away from that. That is insane.
He was in the hospital when I was on the phone with him. We're sitting there talking about breedings. I had no idea. I had no idea he was in the hospital.
Well, and what's crazy is it's like shortly after that, he's posting either videos or posts of him doing stuff.
Yeah. I'm just like, man.
Like, I'm just completely astounded that he's like vertical. It's just like, man, praise. Woof.
Yes. And we're on the phone for like 30, 40 minutes. So I'm just like, this just happened? Like, does your wife know about it? He's like, yeah, she's right here. I'm just like, get off the phone.
Like, what you doing?
But he loves the dogs. He loves the dogs and he loves family. He's a good dude.
His bounce back was insane on that. Again, like, you see those pictures that she posted there. He posted, and you're just like, oh my gosh, is he okay? And then like the next thing you see is just him living life normally,
Yeah.
doing normal stuff. I was like, oh, I can't.
Killing
Kill
in the
him.
ring. Hey, his wife did beat him in the ring, though. I am going to point that out. She did beat him in the ring. This was not this last week's show. This was a few weeks ago.
We're gonna have to ask him if he's even mad. He ain't mad. He should be proud.
How's everyone doing? Adam, I saw you on here.
So
Hey, how's it going?
Adam, Chris, Bruce, got Amber.
Bruce, what's up, man? Nathaniel, what's going on?
Friends.
Nakai, what up, baby?
I feel like I haven't heard
Adam,
Train
what's up, bro?
concert.
I know.
I know. I'm feeling. Okay, let's see here. So I did get an update. So I remember that we are waiting for Chris, Bully the kid, Chris. We're waiting for him he was delayed a little bit, so roughly 8:20-ish. And then Jamie, we're trying to get her on now. Having technical difficulties real quick. 1 second.
Amber, what's going on? How you doing? Amber Odin's looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Amber. Amber just said hey on here. I said Odin's looking real good. She co-owns one of Genesis sons with the Russ.
Remember, yeah. His kids are looking pretty good. He's got some champion productions, don't he?
It is. And it's growing. Yep. Mess. Yep. Yeah, China's been killing it. Every registry, like ABK, ABKC and BRC, but it's nice. Like she got majors in both registries already, so like beating grown males.
Damn. Well,
all right, Nathaniel, I'll see you working, man.
He sells himself, that dog. So I'm interested in what he's going to do with Split. I need to meet that girl. Like I have like this weird, like from a distance obsession with Split. She's like I really like. I just want to put hands on her because she looks like just ridiculous, and I want to like actually physically put hands on it.
Yep, she is a very, very nice female.
Oh yeah.
Very, very
I was super excited. I was super excited when you got her. I mean, Potterhouse knows what they're doing. I mean, so do you, and that's what's crazy. Because of that, you do, and like you just, you've got chess pieces moving in advance. It's wicked.
Yeah, it's definitely nice having someone like that to kind of learn off of and pick his brain. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Antonio McClenny.
Yes, good dude. Really good, solid dude. So Jamie's going. She was having a hard time finding the live. I think so. She should be able to.
Furman, what's going on, man?
There she is.
There she is.
Let's see if I can get her. Adding, yes.
Made it.
Hey.
Made it.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys tonight?
Good.
Good. So sorry about that. Like sometimes, like it yeah. Facebook. What are you gonna do?
Hey V, it's mine. My service here it's terrible. Yeah. So I'll probably drop this a couple times. And,
no.
But yeah, it's really bad.
Well, I can hear you and see you loud and clear, so we're good on that front. And I think Chris is going to join us basically as soon as he can. I know that he'd had a flight earlier, so it's just a matter of basically getting to a place where he can join us. So I feel like I'm probably like
there we go.
Close.
Yeah, now we see your whole head.
Everybody. So what we like to do, Jamie, is we let you kind of introduce yourself, tell us your kennel name, and then normally, because I remember when I pitched this to you, I had said that most of our focus has really been on American bullies, but we'd have so many people. Anytime that anybody, especially Bully the Kid, anytime that Chris brought up his shorties, immediately people were like in the comments like, hey, what all do you know about that breed? Or, hey, I really like that breed. Do you know anything about them? Or, things like that. And of course we're sitting there thinking like, we got to get with Jamie then. So instead of the question that we normally ask, like, hey, how'd you get into bullies? I feel like we should probably just be like, hey, what inspired you to create the Shorty Bull?
Inspired me. That's a big word. That's a big word. But
that's a big plate.
I've been at this for a little bit of time. It's been a couple of years. I've been doing this, and dogs have just always been a part of my life for as far back as I can remember. I always enjoyed dogs so much and loved dogs, but always bulldogs. That's my thing. Bulldogs are kind of one of those things. You either like them a lot or don't really like them that much. So yeah, everything I had, I wanted it to be a bully version of that. Everything. Bully. So what inspired me the most was my dad. And, I grew up on a farm and I mean, my childhood was just like a fairy tale storybook. We're on a farm in Kansas, got horses, we've got dogs, we've got, anything you want. And my dad did dogs. He bred dogs, and we showed horses, and we hunted, and so it wasn't like a special thing. It was like everyday life, but it was special because I loved it. In a whelping box with an English bulldog when I was 3. I think that's the earliest picture Mom has.
Wow.
And I just don't know life. I think there's been like 1 year in my life that I haven't had a bulldog. And I even snuck one into the dorm. That was when I was in college.
My gosh.
I was in a dorm, almost got kicked out because we snuck the dog in,
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, yeah.
How long was
and I've been just dog my whole life.
Yeah. How long was the dog there? Did the dog stay a couple nights before they found out that you had a dog?
Oh no, the dog was there for a long time before we got busted. Yeah, he would stay in the shower while we'd go to class, and then our classes were staggered, and we lived in a pod with 4 people, so yeah, we had it worked out pretty good. And then one chick took him out the wrong time, and it was done. So
you're out of the pod too.
But it was fun,
What college was that?
That was at Washburn University in Topeka. Yeah. The Ichabods.
Actually, I have 2 cousins that graduated Washburn U.
Really?
Yeah. I'm actually from Lawrence, Kansas, originally.
I thought I read that. I love Lawrence. Lawrence is a cool place. It's a really dog-friendly place, too.
Yeah. One of my favorite aspects.
I know. It is.
I grew up with dogs, so yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Neat.
So when we've spoken to, obviously we speak to Dave about like, hey man, what made you think, boy, let's take this breed and shift.
Right.
So you obviously you mentioned loving things that are a little bit more bully, right? So as far as like what was the moment when you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna create something.
It was a big moment. It was, I did a lot of dogs before Shorty Bulls. Okay, they were like the last big thing that I did, and they're definitely the last thing. But no, we did. My husband and I had a lot of American Bulldogs, and we did everything with them. We did confirmation, we worked them, showed them, protection. We did the whole thing with those guys, and they were big and they were powerful, and our kids were little, then. And so then I saw an oldie, and always this whole time I had English Bulldogs, and saw an oldie and I was like, oh my God, that's the dog I just love, you know, I love that one. And so we did that for a long time. And, you know, those are big dogs. And they play rough. Yeah.
Big until like you have to be on the other end of the lead of them, and they're like,
Oh, yeah, man. They're so powerful. And anyway, I got hit in the knee one too many times. Okay, I get hit in the knee again. You know, we're playing in the yard. I get hit in the knee, and I'm just, oh, it hurts so bad. And I'm like, you know what? Something's got to get smaller. And, you know, I got to have something smaller, but I don't want like a little fine-boned yappy dog. I don't want a hairy dog. I don't want a foo-foo dog. You know, it's got to be a little badass. It's got to be tough looking. It's got to have muscles. And so I couldn't really find it. And I love English Bulldogs, but, you know, I love the way they look and everything, but I couldn't find them that could, like, keep up with us as long as we wanted them to. Even though I had some that could, you know, do amazing things for Bulldogs. And I wanted one that would live a long time because, you know, you think 7 years, 8 years is a long time, but that's really when you can really trust the dog. You guys got a great relationship. You know what he's going to do. He knows what you're going to do. And then that's the end of it already. So I wanted a longer lifespan, and I didn't want any trips to the vet. You know, I didn't want to spend money on that, and I didn't want to have to buy $100 bag dog food. And, you know, I wanted to be able to live on a farm. So anyway, okay, so I looked around, and I said, I got to make this thing. I got to make this thing. So I'm going to just try to make this thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so I thought, too, I had this big idea that, you know, I like the definition of pit bulldog, the muscle on that. But I like the short, compact, bunchy muscle on a bulldog. But I thought, what if I get the definition of that on this bulldog?
Yeah.
I'm going to try that.
yeah.
Did that. That's not how it works. Not how it works at all, you know, and I learned so much from that experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually a pro on what not to do. If you want to know what not to do in the breeding program, and the vision and all that, I'm your girl. I know what not to do because I made a lot of mistakes. But, you know, I was fortunate enough I had that big head start of all those years in dogs, you know, doing everything from the daily commitment of working them to, you know, if we wanted to go to a show, we had to drive 25 hours one way, you know, because we're in the middle of Kansas. So, and we would take American Bulldogs. I mean, we'd load them up. We'd take a whole load to a show. And, you know, because there wasn't a lot of shows then, and they were like events or rendezvous or something, like if you were anything in the dogs, you had to get to the show, and it was, you know, wherever. And I forgot where I was going with that point. I just got thinking about dog shows, but we did so much stuff, you know. This was just the natural thing. Like, I'm going to try to make this thing. And I had so much space and time and mentors. And, you know, I had a good system. I had kids to help me. And, you know, and my husband was supportive of it. And so I just started doing it. You know, I just started breeding things to see what they would, you know, to see how this was going to pan out.
It's like we're gonna trial and error the crap out of it.
Yes, that's what I did, and you know, I can read books. I love to read. I read a lot of books, but you know, the books tell you this is guaranteed it's going to turn out this way, but that's BS. It won't for you, or it's guaranteed it's going to go this way. You do it, simple thing. Yeah, not for you. You know, so all those things are just guidelines, but man, you got to get out there and do it. You got to. Because you got to have statistics, you know, like 2 tries is your personal experience. That is not a statistic. So you can't say, I tried it 2 times. This is, you know, it's this. That was your personal experience. You know, if you do it 10, it'll probably be different. So I was doing the breedings and, you know, and I was pretty good because I'd already made so many mistakes before. So I kind of knew what was going to happen, you know. And then I just kept going with it, you know. And I never thought in the beginning that I thought I was just going to do it for me, you know. And and then it took off, and it's been really a crazy ride. And, you know, it's been fun. And a lot of that it was the perfect timing, you know, when I did that. times were different than they are now, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff was basically unheard of then. And,
When was
you know, what's that?
When was that, like, roughly?
Oh, that was like, I don't know, like 26 years ago, 25 years ago. You
Wow.
know, everybody wants a specific date, but I say this, I don't even know, because it's not like I sat down one day and I said, okay, today's the day.
Yeah.
Write it down. I'm making Shorty
Yeah.
Bull. That's not how it happens, you know. Yeah.
Incident history as
So
it's happening.
yeah. So, you know, I took a million pictures, and that documentation and stuff's good, and
Yeah.
you know, and I had the idea, and I'd already been judging, and you know, standards, understood those, and I wrote the standard, and you know, it was a doable standard. You know, a lot of people thought it was vague, but man, it has to be vague in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
because I mean, it's a work in progress for so long.
Yeah.
Everybody wants an instant, but
It's
that
not
depends on a lot of things, how instant it is. You know,
Yeah.
200 years or 200 dogs, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. So so when do you feel, so actually, you know what?
Mm.
When was like, when, when did you feel officially comfortable with like, selling these as Shorty Bulls?
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, if you're going to have puppies, you're going to have sell puppies. I mean, that just, you know, you can talk about it and say what you want. You can put them in the garden, all the la 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 la. But you are not keeping all those puppies. So I never wanted to sell them as something they weren't, or, you know, promise anything. And if they weren't really making the cut here, I mean, I didn't really want to call them like Shorty Bulls then. I mean, I was just like, maybe not so much on that. Maybe not so much on that. So,
Yeah.
you know, back then we did a lot of ads in the newspapers. And just to put it, you know, like it's crossbreed, whatever. You know, you could say half Bulldog puppies. They were gone, like boom, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then one time I got real creative, and I was like, I'm going to call them teddy bear bulls. They look like little teddy bears. Teddy bear bulls, no papers. They're just cute.
Yeah.
They're cute. They're fat. They have round ears, you know. People love that. And so I just did that, and I called them a cross or whatever. I didn't call them. I don't even think I've ever advertised a litter of Shorty Bulls in like that. I don't think I ever have, you know, because I just used that. You know, you have to make a lot of this stuff. It's like baking cookies for the first time, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you burned a batch. Maybe this batch you forgot to soda something. I don't know. You know, your little brother will still eat them, so you're okay. Yeah.
He better like them.
Yeah, you better like them. That's right.
You better ask for some
But
more.
no, I just did that. But, you know, like I say, times were different then.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, you know, we weren't looked so down upon like, oh, my God, you're just scum doing dog. You do breedings. Oh, my gosh, that's terrible. It wasn't like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it was easier then. And, you know, I had to fight a lot of fights and stuff because I called them something different, you know, give them their own name. And I thought that was very respectful because I've always wanted to do this, and I don't want to hang any papers and all that stuff. I'm just not get. That's just not my thing. You know, that's just too much to keep track of. So I didn't want to call them like extra large French bulldogs or, you know, miniature bulldog. Or I didn't want to do all that. Yeah, so I called them something different. But, you know, at that time, the French bulldog people were still pissed off. The English bulldog people were like, you're ruining our breed. I mean, you know, they were all negative. But
there's
that's
a bit of that, I'm sure. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, it was brutal for a minute.
Oh,
you know, but it wasn't my first rodeo with dog people by far. I got through all that, you know, and I said, you know, you guys, I give you the respect of naming it something different. So, yes, I did use your breed, but that's how all breeds come into.
Absolutely.
That's how we start with all of them. So, really, I think that's just when something's new and you have a component of it, of course, you're looking around like, what are they doing? Is it neater than this one? Is it cooler? Is it, you know, I mean, because that's just it's just normal. And, you know, I had to tell them, yeah, it's way cooler. Way cooler. It's way better. Yeah. It's way smarter. And it's called the Shorty Bull.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, You know, it was fun, and it was just crazy in the beginning how that works. And then, you know, you go advertise Shorty Bulls. Nobody knows what that is. They're like, oh, what's that? You know, is that a short bully? Get that a lot.
Well, I'm telling you, I remember the first time that I saw one was actually at Nationals 2022. I think was the first time I'd actually like seen one of them.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
well, because I was like,
Yeah. I know. That's people do it just like dogs. They turn their heads like this.
Like,
What is that?
like they call her like Shorty Bull. What is that? So I was curious, and so like I remember that was the first time like I literally watched them go in the ring. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, you wonder what they are, you know,
Yeah.
because you can see little bits and pieces of different stuff, and you know, and a lot of people are like, oh, they're just Frenchies with cropped ears, but they're so far from that, you know. But again, you have to see a lot of Frenchies. You have to see, you know, you just have to see things to get accustomed to. You will see similarities, but you will, you know, the differences are there.
The thing is, is like you're looking at looking at exotics. You see the bulldog. You see all these breeds by looking at, because that's their predecessor. That's their foundation stock. So yeah, you're going to see resemblance of it. It's how silly do you have to
And
be
that's
to
how
be
you
like,
train your eye, you know. Yeah, and a dog has to have type. Of course, you know, I'm big on type. I'll lecture on type for 2 hours, and I'll save you from that tonight. But type is so important, you know, and you will see similarities, but you've got to get out there and you got to see a lot of dogs. I mean, if you want to be good at this, you got to have your hands on. You got to see, be around good, bad, ugly, all of them, all different kinds. You got to be around them. Yeah.
Well, I remember so I remember seeing them for the first time at that nationals. But the first one I ever got to really interact with is actually owned by Christina. What's her name? The dog's name is Laura, and she's on her champion campaign right now. And she's this cute little piebald, tan and white piebald, and man, if Sassy Pants was a dog,
Oh
she's
yeah.
that dog. And
They got a lot of attitude.
Yes. Yeah. And she's very, but it's so funny because it's like a light switch. Like she knows when it's business time. Yeah. And other than
I'm
that,
always so
she is
proud of that light switch, you know, the off and on.
Yeah. So and that was my first interaction with the Shorty Bull, because I remember being like that. This is I was like, Christine, is this a Shorty Bull? And she's like, yeah, and my first one. Or I can't remember if it was the first one. It might be her first one, but she just started working with her. Yeah. And this little girl would sit there and she'd do that little back kick, like when.
Yeah, they're good at that.
It's like
connect you. That little.
That's like the broad middle finger. Yeah. But the moment she walked in that ring, it was like
when they like to show, they just really love that, you know. They really do.
Yes. Hey, before we get too far into it though, we did have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, Trayvon was actually asking. He says that he gets asked all the time, and when we were on live, I think it was with Bull the Kid. They were asking what makes up a Shorty Bull. You know what
makes up a Shorty Bull? Well, it's simple. I speak for Blue River Shorty Bull. It's a combination of English Bulldog, French Bulldog, and Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
Good. Okay. That one I wouldn't have caught. Like that's
really.
What's going on, brother?
That would be a good way to balance everything out.
You gotta wear that hat, man.
I want to pull things from each breed that I used. Yeah. Okay. And there he is, the man of the hour.
I'm a little late.
No, hold up. You're the woman of the hour. He's here because he's him and he's awesome too. And this is just like this one big happy thing that I am so glad worked out.
You know what? I hate that I'm in my car. I hate doing live from my car.
He doesn't have his mic. It's special.
I don't have my microphone, and I had to pull over to do this because I would have been later. Atlanta traffic is brutal. It's very, very brutal.
Yes, it is.
It's hard to get through.
like, was it by Douglasville or something like that? That's like the.
I don't live in the country. Once again, I know that you know a lot of the rural areas, but no, like no.
Oh, I
I
would be
love
waiting
when
for you to
people to
come on
Atlanta one
too.
time. They start.
It's like the
People
two
come to Atlanta
people
at
that
one
know
time.
all
They
the
start
trans.
claiming cases. We're in Douglasville. No, I fucking haven't. No, sorry. Continue. I don't want to interrupt the story. You guys are doing so great. Do not.
No, you're not interrupting, but you're cutting in and out.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, you're. It's because you don't have your mic. That's it. I figured it out. It's because you don't have your mic.
You see like a little blue
I
light turn
dislike
on.
not having my microphone. I just
Yeah,
like it.
I can see that it's just, man, that just changes the tone of the entire interview, doesn't it?
It does. It's a little less professional, but I'm very excited that you guys are talking to Jamie. She's phenomenal. I know someone in the chat said she's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I've met a lot of breeders in my time. Jamie Sweet is definitely at the top of that list. You guys don't understand. I think a lot of dog people nowadays don't understand what it means to create something because something has already been created. Most of the time when we fall in love with something, it's because someone else has already. What is that noise? You got something going on, man? Is that a tornado warning?
Oh no!
Well,
I
so
heard it
there's
too.
the tangent.
What is it? It's like a boo?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Are you gambling right now?
No, I literally hear. Are you gambling?
I can hear it too. I don't know what it is.
What is that?
I don't know.
Jamie, is that you?
That's not me,
It's not me.
but I hear it. Yeah.
Only thing I have is Helio snoring, and that's all I got. Hey, are you
I don't have a
gambling?
dog around me or anything.
Here, I'm gonna mute one by one. We're gonna see what this is.
Yeah, mute me. Make sure.
Yeah.
Not me. Oh, wait. Can you mute me? No?
I was just
No,
muted.
you have to, you have to mute yourself.
Oh, here you go.
Storming in central Alabama.
Huh?
Adam says it's about to storm in central Alabama.
It went away now.
Right, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing, like,
No, it's
I'm in my
bad.
office, there is nothing happening right now. Like, I'm lucky you're not hearing Helio snore, but that's about the extent of the extra noise that's happening right now.
I don't know. That was a weird noise.
That-
It's like a little tunnel or something.
That's better than a train.
Oh, okay, well, let me just say.
That though. Like, what do you call it?
Maybe our
Like,
listeners can't hear it. If our listeners can't hear it, I guess it doesn't matter, but it's going to drive me crazy.
isn't it like this up?
It's not me. I muted my mic, so it didn't work.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Jamie's
that's
definitely.
not me because there's nothing here.
Yes. So I think what intrigued me about Jamie, like I was saying, was I had not met anyone that had created a breed of dog before, like with a plan. Obviously, with the American Bully, you can say that I met Dave Wilson, I met all these other people with the American Bully, but the American Bully was created by a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a plan. I don't,
Right.
and I say that in the most nice way. The American Bully wasn't made with a plan to create another breed. It was a breed that was created by what people liked. They liked something that was so far removed from something else that it became something else. It wasn't like a thought out process of let's put these dogs together to make an American Bully. The Shorty Bull was. So that intrigued me because I had never seen something from the ground up become a breed, you know, and it's not like a golden doodle where it's like, oh, you take a golden retriever and mix it with a poodle. Oh, wow, it's a golden doodle. Or my neighbor that created a Boxweiler and just took a boxer and put it to a Rottweiler. And like, I created a breed called a Boxweiler. And I'm like, or a Roxer. And I was like, oh, it could be a Roxer. He's like, oh, yeah, it could be a Roxer.
And you're like, but that's not how any of this works.
Yeah, that's not how it works. And people really thought Shorty Bulls worked that way. Like, it was just literally taking an English and a Frenchie. I fought that for years when I came in because they thought it was that simple, and it really isn't. And then when you saw people breed English and Frenchies and they looked hideous, you were like, whoa, that's not how you do it. So it really taught me a lot about F1 breeding. So Jamie is really something that's going to be gone in a while. I think some people don't understand that when when she's done
I
doing it,
understand that. That is the
yeah,
truth.
America is not built for people to have 40, 50 dogs anymore. That's not where we live. That's not our country
Right.
anymore. It's like there's a couple of farmers and things like that, but for the most part, most dog breeders live on less than an acre of land. The majority of
Right.
dog breeders in America have less than an acre of land. There's another large proportion of dog breeders that are renters, you know?
Yeah.
So you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to get people to have 20, 30, 40 dogs and have the time to take care of those dogs. You can't have 40, 50 dogs and have a full-time job. You
Yeah.
just can't.
No.
It's just
Absolutely.
not and do it the right way. Not and do it the right way. So I
Right.
love that I could pick up my phone at any time of night and call Jamie Sweet and talk about Shorty Bulls and find out what I was doing wrong, what I was doing right. And I will always cherish the moments that we have because that's not something you're going to get normally in dog breeding and dog showing.
Yeah.
And, you know, people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, you're a mentor, talk to me. And I'm like, I can tell you how to show a dog. I can tell you how to market a dog. I can tell you a lot of different things. But what I can't tell you is what it's like to lose 4 litters in 3 weeks, or what it's like to nurse a puppy for 24 hours and
Yeah.
hold it next to my chest. I'm not doing that.
Just
That's not my job.
power
You know what I'm
naps, and that's all you have.
saying?
Literally
Yeah,
power
Yeah.
naps. And you hope you pray for your sanity. Yeah.
yeah, that's not me. So
For
I think
real.
when those people that are listening, if you have a breeder like that
Yeah.
or a mentor like that, have a different mentor. Like I tell people all the time, don't just have one mentor. Like have several different mentors for
Mm-hmm.
different things. If I have a question about, if I have a dog that's sick, there's 2 people I call. 2 people, Jamie Sweet or Janae Archer. That's it. Those are the 2
Yeah.
people. Everyone else, I don't care. Rolando Mata is a close friend of mine. I'm not calling him if I got a puppy stuck in the birth canal. That puppy's just gone. It's dead. Don't
That's
call
funny.
Rolando. If I have a question about dog training, I might call Jody McCall or someone like that, someone that I know
Yeah.
that's really
Mm-hmm.
good. If I question about weight pulling, I have people that I call for that.
Mm-hmm.
But when
Yeah.
it comes to just literally breeding dogs and creating dogs and saying what dogs I use, my best conversations come from Jamie. Rolando's a good breeder too, but he's a breeder of a finished product dog. What I mean by that is
Mm-hmm.
he can take 2 really good dogs and make really good dogs. There's not too many people that can take a dog that some people would deem as a piece of crap and breed it to something and make a fantastic dog.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen very often. My Shorty Bull that I owned, GOAT, the greatest of all time, his dad was criticized over and over and over and over and over again as an ugly Shorty Bull, as too big, too tall,
Plain.
too long, too plain. His mom was beautiful. She was a cream dog, so everyone loved her just because she was cream.
She was
And
cream.
she put those dogs together. It was a second breeding. It was a repeat breeding, and she was able to create what I wanted. And when I tell people that you go to someone and you say, I want a dog,
Yeah.
think about this, Amanda. You know, I come to you and I say, I want a dog that is short back, short, moves like the wind, beautiful head, signifies the breed. Breeders will say, yeah, I can make that. And then they lie to you and they give you
Yeah.
something. And then 2 years later, it's nothing like what you wanted. And you spent $5,000. And when you have somebody come to you and say, I'm going to make that for you because I want
Yeah.
to make that for you. And you're like, I'm a hard buyer. I'm very hard. You don't want to sell me a dog. I'll tell anybody
Super
on the air
hard.
right now, you do not want to sell me a dog. I am an asshole. I am annoying. I am not happy. I'm not satisfied. That's me.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to find a dog I love. And there was a litter she had before my litter. And I've told this story a million times. And I was like, I want that puppy. And she's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, I want that puppy.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
No, you don't.
no.
And she's like, I'm not selling you the puppy. I'm not giving you that puppy. No.
We thought
And I was
he
so mad.
wasn't
I was
kidding, but he
so,
kept going with the story like, oh shit, he wasn't lying. Like this
oh
is
yeah,
really
you've
not
heard the
happening.
Our
story before.
story
I
is,
was so
I
mad.
mean, the older I get and the more the dog world goes on, our story of GOAT and us and all this stuff it's a crazy, amazing, true story it's never going to be duplicated, I don't think, ever. I just
No.
don't think, because, yeah, it was a perfect storm.
But you get a breeder and she says, "Hey, at a day old, this is your puppy,"
Yeah.
and you're like thinking of every reason it was wrong. Every reason. I thought of everything. I go pick the dog up. The dog is so beautiful. But up to 8 weeks, I was complaining about it the whole time. Like, give me another dog. Give me another dog. What's up, Mary?
Yeah.
And I was like, give me another dog. Give me another dog.
Hey, man.
I get the dog. I take it out in Nationals in Las Vegas. I'm walking the dog on the black carpet. It gates beautifully. It is the most beautiful moving Shorty Bull I've ever seen in my life. Like, there's no touching this. He's a little baby. But he's got this fucking black mark on his head, and I'm livid. I'm like, Jamie, you got my dog dirty. Like, you know, in Kansas, I have those nasty black
Dog.
In
walnuts,
Kansas.
these nasty
Yeah.
black walnuts that fall on the ground. So
The walnuts, yeah.
I literally,
Poor dog.
he's like, I think it's just a walnut stain. And I'm like, it's been there for a week
I
now.
thought he went under the riding mower in his head.
Like he had like oil. So he's a cream dog with
Yeah.
this black mark on his head.
Like,
And then
just
we
wash
find
his
out-
head. Jeez, it's just a black mark, you know?
Yeah, so you find out that it's actually like a brindle patch. This is super rare in a cream dog. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. It's like so rare, like 0.0001%.
Good job.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called what is it called? A Kimura? What's it called?
Yeah, Chimera
thing.
It's a chimera, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's super rare, but I'm just mad because it got this dirt smudge on this beautiful cream coat.
Yeah,
And
like we really scrubbed his head raw trying to get it on. I'm like, I don't think that's coming off.
It's his coat, yeah, and he had that. And anyway, he grew up and he was absolutely beautiful as a puppy. And then he was hideous as an adolescent. Like
That's what I told him these stages were coming. I was like, okay, now listen.
Yeah.
Look close at him now, because in about 5 months you're going to be real pissed off at me, and you're going to be like, what the hell is this? Blah, 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 blah.
Man, I made so many mistakes with this dog because I was used to having bigger dogs. And this is my first little dog. And I remember the first mistake was he wasn't listening, and he was on a retractable leash. Yes, Bully the Kid loves retractable leashes. That's another story. And I yanked him. You know how you correct a dog and you're like, no, come, and you yank him and you correct him really harshly.
This happens to Shorty so much.
I popped the leash. I was like, get over here. And the dog flew in the air like 30 feet, like, and I was
guys
like,
do this so much, and this is just, it's going to happen.
He flew into a bush, like he took off in the air and flew into a bush.
Oh my god!
Because he only weighed like 6 pounds, but I'm used to bigger dogs, so I like yanked him. And I was like, dang,
that happens so much.
He landed in a bush. Then he comes out of the bush, and
good thing they're durable.
They are durable, and he bounced back very quickly. So I was like, oh man, I ruined him. I ruined this dog. And then I was like, his mouth, he had a horrible underbite. It was the worst underbite ever.
Their bites change, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Were hanging out of his mouth.
What do you mean their bites change?
At
Like
5 months.
Yeah.
At 5 months, their bottom jaw grows first. And
Yeah,
it's
so
ugly.
Wow.
Ugly. It's terrible ugly.
It's ugly. It's hideous.
The top,
So I put him,
top grows second.
so all of my dogs, when you're loved, live in the house. So if you're loved, live in the house. Almost every one of my dogs go through a stage though where they're not loved and they are moved outside.
They go outside.
They go outside.
when they're literally his you better not dog.
Oh.
Yeah, when they, you better not. Yeah. So
All the time their teeth are hanging out and they look like a baby goat and their legs are so long and
the goat
they have a
moved
peanut head.
He was moved outside with this pit bull, a pit bull named Princess. And you know, if anytime you meet a black person and they have a dog named Princess, a pit bull, that dog is not loved. It's not loved. Like that dog will end up with 5 different names. They're gonna get rid of it. There's a couple names that if black people name their dog these names: Princess, Diamond, Dog, China. Princess, Diamond, China will end up in the pound. I guarantee.
Oh Lord,
they will not.
Dog named Tennessee. What about that one?
No, Hennessy, you put some thought in it. But Princess, Diamond, China, or Kilo, those dogs will all at some point go to the pound. I guarantee you, they have gotten loose before. They've been guaranteed. So I had a dog named Princess, which was a returned pit bull that I took back because at the time I was a good breeder. So if someone couldn't keep their dog, I would always take it back at the time. You know, now I removed that from my contract because I don't want your damn dog back. But at the time, I was a good breeder. So I would always say, if you can't keep it, it has a forever home here. No, it doesn't. If you can't keep it, Ask your cousin, your mama, your neighbor, your teacher. Somebody before you get
Your
to me,
teacher.
you better have exhausted all other means. Give it to a
Mhm.
nursing home. Give it to a nun.
Too.
So, but at the time, I was at breeder. You know, like bring the dog back
Yeah.
to me. So Princess
Mhm.
came back, and obviously I didn't want her back, so she was outside. And Cassius went to live with her for like 3 months. And one day I called Jamie and I said, Jamie, Cassius looks great. Oh my God, he looks so good. So that's when he came back in the house. And that is where he became the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was really good, you know. But what did
Yeah.
Adam say? He said, can of worms. What do y'all think about the aloha theory? What is that?
Alpha.
The Aloha theory.
Oh,
Aloha.
I don't
I
No,
know.
think
I
the
was
What is
Aloha
so
sounds
good.
pretty good
Anytime I
right
ever
now.
type the word alpha, I always type in aloha first by accident, just so we're
Oh, you
clear.
think it's the
But yeah,
alpha
the
theory?
alpha theory,
Uh,
alpha theory. Adam and I have had this conversation. We've had, actually, several people have had this conversation about what do y'all feel about the alpha theory when it comes to dogs? I'm assuming when it comes to training and I would guess training.
As far as like us as the owners assuming the role of alpha?
Like
Yes, I
rolling
believe
them
that's
on
what
their
you.
back? What is it?
I know personally because I know that the dude that actually came up with the alpha theory spent the rest of his career backpedaling that
Well,
theory.
tell me
I
the
I don't
already
even
basic
have
in a
the
quick.
story.
know what it is.
Give me a quick synopsis of what it is, the alpha theory. What is it?
So it's based on one man, specifically one dude.
Liking it
He
already.
he had right. He'd studied wolves, and he came up with a theory that there is one alpha male that runs the entire pack. Right? He is not elected leader, like he takes leadership by subjugating the other males and females. Right? He's the only one that's allowed to breed. Blah 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 blah, et cetera, et cetera. So now, a lot of dog trainers have taken that as gospel, saying, okay, well, that means that dogs, even domesticated dogs, not especially domesticated dogs, by instinct, require an alpha in order to be complete, in order to feel confident, to be complete dogs. Now, little
Well,
do a lot
first
of
of
people
all,
know, but the guy that actually wrote that book, he again spent the rest of his career backpedaling
yeah.
because he actually started spending decades
yeah.
with these wolves and was like, okay, so it's not necessarily an alpha male. It's literally like a male and a female, and they breed, and then their entire pack is actually their kids. And they're not like they're the parents. They're not a pack leader necessarily as much as they are parents. And then those kids come out and start making their own packs and shit. So it's like,
Well,
oops.
first of all, dogs aren't wolves anymore. You know, we like to say that all the
Yeah.
time, but
Oh yeah,
these
thank
are far cry from a wolf
yeah.
by a long shot, far.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you know, maybe that happened for the guy, and that's great. But I've made more than one alpha puppy emerge from a litter
Yeah.
just by moving them around and doing different things, you know. And so I don't know. I think dogs need direction, and they want direction like little kids. You know, they want to know what comes next, and you know, and they look to you if you're the boss. I mean, if you're the boss, you're the boss. You know, like we have a lot of dogs. When my husband does things, different dogs do different things with his interaction than they do with me. You know,
Yeah.
but either one of us change the tone of our voice. I mean, they know right quick
Okay.
who the alpha is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe that's just Shorty Bulls, you know, but you know, every breed's a little bit different too. So, I mean, I think there's some truth to that. I don't think it's anything that we need to be talking about on a basic level for people because these, like I said, these aren't wolves and they aren't trainers. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
No, most
You
certainly
know,
not. Well, how about let's see here. Let's see here. Let's go.
Real quick, let me say,
Let's go with
I
the
think
question. Go
let me say,
ahead.
I think in premise that is true, but it's such a broad statement. Like obviously, our dogs, there's a leadership
Yeah.
thing with us as
Correct.
human beings.
Well, just
If I
like
don't want my pack of dogs to eat food, guess what? They do not eat until I let them eat. If one of them does, and I correct it, they know real quick that I'm the alpha.
Yeah.
You know, it does allow me to have control of my dogs. So if someone were to say, I would never allow my dogs to just theoretically find an alpha. One, I have a Doberman now. Clubber is tough, but if
Find an alpha.
the moment that Kronos decides that he's alpha,
Yeah.
Clubber is dead. Like it's like it doesn't matter what he thinks.
Yeah.
However, in equally sized dogs, and I'll speak for Jamie's yard since Jamie's here. I've seen 20 dogs running around, puppies with middle, like adolescent other dogs, not adults, adolescents, and we're feeding them, and there
Oh,
will be a
this.
fight that breaks out. There is definitely an alpha,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
For sure.
as Jamie
Absolutely.
said, you can create an alpha. So I could take, let's say I have 16 puppies, and I make 4 different packs. Each one of those 4 packs is going to, at some point, get a dog or a puppy that emerges as the dominant puppy.
Yeah, that's them roles.
Yeah, it's like, well, I guess this is what we're doing now because this
Now,
one. Yeah.
let's say I take those 4 alpha puppies from those 4 packs, and I make 1 pack with those 4 alpha puppies. It will get bloody for a little while. For a little while, it will get bloody. But eventually, there's going to be an alpha and a beta.
There can only be.
Well, or they're going to kill each other. I mean, not always. It's not always just one. I mean, Rampage and LoJack are 2 alphas. You know what I'm saying? They're dominant males.
Mhm.
They're going to kill each other. Skids and Cassius are 2 dominant males.
Oh my
But I
God.
think I want people to understand about dogs, just like people. And not, Amanda, don't let your husband get, but you have a husband, and your husband is your husband, okay?
Yeah.
He's going to lead your family if he's a leader. Maybe he's not. Let's say he is. He's going to be different leading your family than I'm going to be leading mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't change the fact that he's a leader or he's alpha. Let's say Cassius is an alpha dog, but Cassius never was going to fight over food or a bone. He'll fight over a female. He won't fight over those other things.
Yeah.
I got other alpha dogs that will fight because you're laying in the sunshine and they want to lay in the sunshine.
That's my warming patch, bitch.
Exactly. So when people talk about dogs, it's not this simplistic. Not every dog leads the same. And I think some of us have to have dogs long enough that a leader dog dies and you see that a new type of leader emerges.
Yes.
And they allow, there are dogs that are not going to allow even the smallest level of disrespect. That means don't you fucking eat. When I'm about to eat, if you even look at the food, I'm on you.
Yep.
There's going to be other leaders of dogs that's not going to care if you eat. There's going to be some that if somebody's walking by the fence, they want to bark first. And
Silent leaders.
if you bark, they're going to you up. There's going to be another one that doesn't care. And sometimes it's funny to me. A lot of these trainers have never been around a lot of dogs at the same time. They've only been around 1 or 2 dogs. So if I only have 2 dogs, it's very easy to get an alpha to me. But when I pick a puppy, this is just me, I'm looking at the person. I got another Doberman puppy coming in July. I know the person. Yes, but listen, I know the personality. I know my dog's personality now. It's very important that I find a puppy that matches his personality.
I like that.
Because he's 2 years old. So I know his personality. If I know that he's an alpha, a true alpha, then I have to pick a different type of puppy than him. But if I go pick a dog that's just like him, I'm going to get rid of one of them or I'm going to have a problem. So it's up to us as people. So long story short, I agree with a lot of what that person's saying. I don't know why he's backtracking. A lot of people backtrack because people give them grief. There's no need to backtrack on it.
Right.
You don't have to sit down and play like a wolf and howl and bite the dog around the neck. But if you own a dog, you should, or someone in your family should assume the role of alpha. At my house, it's me, then my son, then my oldest daughter. My youngest daughter has no control whatsoever. If she comes home, she's going to be on a Netflix movie where the dogs eat her alive because she thinks just talking to them like, please don't do that. Stop that. Why are you acting? That's the way she is. She breaks up dog fights by saying, you go to that corner, you go to that corner. It doesn't work. Me, I still have a breaking stick in my back tree in the backyard, and I've not needed a breaking stick in 20 years. But I've always had them from when I had pit bulls. So it's something that's different. So I like that conversation, neither here nor there. But I think we have a lot of pet owners now, and they kind of don't want to be alphas. They want to be their dog's buddies. And
well, see,
we're all a family.
I know that I want to be the like when things go sideways, when all of a sudden there's something that they're just not okay with. I want to be the one thing that's their constant. Like they look to me for correction or for like this cool. Like I want to be that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to our household, Matt's the fun guy. Like he goes out, plays with them. Like they have so much fun with him, and like he's their favorite, and that's fine. That's fine. But whenever any of them are either nervous or they want to know that something's okay when it might not be, they look at me.
The respect. They respect you.
It is one of those things where they immediately like they don't like they want to know where I'm at.
Right.
And I think a lot of that is just because I don't give them the inches. Like I'll play with them, don't get me wrong, but I correct them so much faster. I don't allow shenanigans. I don't like it.
You sound like me, and then I learned a lesson. So Cassius, not a non-dog aggressive.
Yeah.
I send him to Blue River. About every 3 months or so, he'd go live at the river for like 2 months with Jamie. He would be a fucking savage. Listen, this dog would be
They came home
savage.
to visit,
And he would, and this is why I tell people when we say alphas are different, they really are, because Jamie had full control over Cassius. But at her house, he wanted to fight because there were more males.
Yeah.
He wanted to kill skids. They hate each other.
They
I remember
hated each other.
when I tell you that Cassius was push button control, he was a freaking Tesla with me. Like,
Big time.
Look, I could take him in the ring. There's videos of me in the ring gating him with no lead. He will not break stride. He will stop. He will stay. He will
Showing himself.
push, show himself.
I mean, it's awesome.
And I was like you. I'm an alpha. I control this mother effer. Don't nothing. I came to the river. My dog, who I love, I've never had to put my foot to his ass ever. He wanted to kill a dog, and I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll just tell him no." Cassius, no. Hell no. He kept going. I had to put boot to ass. Like, not figuratively.
But it's different when you come here, This is not it's different. It's a whole different feel.
I was so mad. I was so mad that this dog would not listen to me. And it's because he had a role there that required him, in his mind, to physically check that dog anytime he saw that dog. It did not matter what I did. It wasn't that. Now, he would never redirect and bite me. It doesn't matter.
No.
Like that. He wasn't out of control crazy. But it was something that in him, even listening to me, who is alpha, and having to turn his back on that dog, was so inherently bred into him that he would risk getting beaten. Let me stop saying beaten. I'm going to have the police at my door. Man. He would risk
getting beaten.
Getting in trouble.
I'm sorry, but every single one of us, not one person listening has not taken the opportunity to have to whoop their dog when they did something.
I have not. Listen, Amanda. For black men, I cannot walk down that path. I have never in my life, ever. Everything I'm saying right now is figuratively, and really, if it's a story, it happened with white people and their dogs, and I'm just repeating the story. So
that's what you heard.
It is what I heard. No. But anyway, that's a good question, man. Look, we're having this show is not doing well. We need to get back on track, because
that's the thing that happens. We get sidetracked all the time.
That's great. If we're trying to answer questions, we do have We do have one, and this is actually a really, really good one, Jamie. It says, what was it that kept you going despite negative criticism and the undesirable outcomes in the initial beginning?
Oh, that's just me.
That's
That's
for
just
you.
me. Like, that's just me, man. I'm just going to do this thing and I want to do it. And, in the beginning, I was my biggest competitor. And, and I always had to prove stuff to my dad because he was always right. And he'd tell me ahead of time, like, the answer. And I'd be like, no, it's not right. Make a bully dog that works like crazy. I had to go through a couple of them before I was like, yeah, that's right. You don't get them so bully. And then, they start losing function and whatever. And, so I don't know. We were always a betting family. I bet you this, I bet you that. And it's just in me to do that. So to find the fortitude, I really liked what I was doing. And I thought this little dog was the coolest thing I ever did because I wanted to get the same buzz I got from my big dogs. And when you're attracted to those kind of dogs, there's just certain things you like about that. You like that muscle and, you like that people kind of look twice. It's a big dog back there,
Yeah, when you get yeah.
all those things. And so, and I'm a competitive person, like super bad competitive person. And, I guess I was just so excited, man. And when I get excited about an idea and it's dogs and I'm excited, man, it's just on my brain, I'm drawing it on napkins. I'm making the frosting in the shape of a Shorty Bull on the kids' toaster strudel in the morning. It's like that. Wow. Yeah, I'm silly like that.
But see what
and then I get really excited when I get one that gets close,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many dogs me and Chris have broken down, but I mean, talk about a tear down. And I mean, every little bitty thing,
Yeah.
And that was always, I mean, I could do that for hours with somebody that can, that can do that and keep up and, and I just really loved it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Everybody's like, oh, it's blood, sweat, and tears. Listen, there was some blood and there was some sweat and there was some tears, but there was a heck of a lot more laughing and excitement and, oh my God, this is so cool. And, but take this and do this with it. And it was like that. And it was just a lot of fun,
Yeah.
So that's where I got my fortitude was, I just,
finding the love in it, finding the passion, finding the love in it.
Yeah, and I just like to, in a man's game, I just like to whoop their ass whenever I can. That was kind of it for me.
Well, so
No, but it was fun, and I really love to see a well-built bully dog, and see the big things done right, and then see the little things done right. It's amazing, It's really commendable, and I think sometimes we get the line so blurred, people can't tell, but it is. It's an amazing thing, and when you get one like that, it just, every time you look at it, you feed it, you're just like, wow, I love that dog.
Yeah.
The cute doesn't wear off so fast, like Bully was talking about. It sticks a little longer.
Yes. How did you know you were headed in the right direction with the Shorty Bull? You said
because I liked it. That's why. That's easy because I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it, and it was my deal, and I knew what I was going for. And I mean, the rest didn't matter. I had a certain plan.
Yeah.
And that was how it was going to be. And if you look at all the dogs I've had, there's certain things that are always important to me. Okay, number one, they're always bully.
Yeah.
I haven't tried to make a rat terrier bully. That was a bad idea because they actually have a job, and if you get their head too round, they get stuck in holes, and you have to dig them out. So, yeah. So, all my dogs, bully, they got to have some genetic muscle that's there.
Yeah.
I mean, I did all the work in the dog out and all that jazz, and that's cool too. It has a time and place, but let me tell you, genetic muscle is the way to do it.
Yeah.
You just let them play; they got muscle, And there's certain things I like. I would like a wide chest. I like the elbows pointing back, not pointing out. I like nice feet. I don't want, bent pasterns. I want angulation in the hind leg. I'm real picky about a top line, but all those things, they just go together. And I don't care what I'm breeding. It could be a could be a friggin' kangaroo. I would still have those things I wanted,
Yeah.
you know?
That,
And I'm just sure of that. And I'm not changing my mind, you know, every time something new comes out, because, you know, when you first start out, you think you might like something and you might like it for a little bit. But then as you grow a little bit or change or something, doesn't fit your lifestyle, it's okay that you know, that you change. But I was to the point where it wasn't, I already knew it wasn't going to change. I'd been through, you know, so much, and I was getting older by the time I made Shorty Bulls. And that was important too, because some of these dogs are young people's dogs, you know, like, you know, some of them are just meant for younger people when you can bend your knees and stuff, you know?
when
So,
squatting in the ring, you can still get up afterwards.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you can run around 20 times while they decide the tail set's a little off. And you're like, what?
Well, so
Yeah.
Vino has a question for you, actually, that falls into this, like the development of you know, what you were looking for and whatnot. He's asking what's going to be the most challenging thing to kind of lock in when it comes to the like the type, the breed type. And if you had to choose one thing that was like the most difficult thing to actually lock in.
The most difficult thing to lock in. Well, by the time you get to, you know, you have all these things like you want them, and you're just making more of that. There's some features that I think are harder to fix than others. I think it's real important to fix that rear end first, and breed a dog from the rear forward, you know, and the ground up.
Yeah.
Because everything underneath your top line makes your top line, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, so that's why that's how that goes. And type is just so important. You got to have type. If you don't have type, you don't have to worry about the rest of it. Because if we look at it, we don't know what breed it is, we're not sure. How can we be sure what it's supposed to move like or act like or any of the rest of it? So it's right there with type. To be a breed, it has to be distinguishable type. Now, it can have similarities, but it still has to be unique.
Right.
And that is so important if you want to be a breed. Why wouldn't you want to be a breed? I mean, you know, if you're doing this thing and it's awesome, I mean, I just think being a breed is very important. And, you know, the show should reflect the breed type. You don't need a show style and a freak style and a wow factor and a brood stock. And you need one thing. When you get that perfected, you know, make more of that. See if you can do it again, you know? See if you can do it again and again and again and make it consistent. Because if it's not consistent, what good is it? If you can't ever do it again, you know. But I'm into long-term longevity. If we get this thing right, I want 1 million of them.
Yeah.
That's always how I thought, you know. But it was always a challenge. Okay, can I get it fixed how I want? Can I lock that in? Can I make that again and again and again?
Right.
And I did that. And I mean, I proved a lot of things to myself, you know, with having a real program. And if you don't have a real program, it's just a slower way to learn dogs, you know, like in your life's going fast. Your life is flying by. You got kids growing up, you're going to these shows, dogs growing up, it's fast, you know. And so I don't know how the dog world's going to be. I'm getting off on another subject, but I don't know what the dog world's going to be like when we don't have programs, but I'm not kidding you. It's going to take a hit. It's going to take a hit.
Now, one thing that I always I really I'm always just really, really curious when it comes to people that have created a breed or really, really been a part of sustaining a breed. Vina makes a really, really good point in asking, like, what do you think the biggest threat is to that? Because obviously you created this finished product. You said, I delivered it to the public after I finished it. Like,
Where's
what
Bully?
is
Bully?
Bully?
What's the biggest threat to that?
Yeah, what's the biggest threat to
Well,
sustaining that?
it depends on you as a person. Like, what threatens you? Like, First of all, nobody's going to get a dog just like you because they're not breeding the same two dogs you're breeding. But it takes you a few dogs to realize that. You
Yeah.
can't even breed to the brother and get the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I
So,
think the biggest
Genetics are a
threat.
hell of a drug.
I think the biggest threat to sustaining breed type in any breed is the public perception or ideal that I breed for me. That is the biggest threat to sustaining breed type. Is that motto of I breed for me. I don't breed for a standard. I don't breed
Yeah.
for anything other than
Yeah.
what I like.
yeah.
I feel, and I'll be honest, and this is going to piss people off, the only person that should have been breeding for what they like, in my opinion, is the creator of a breed. When
Yeah.
Jamie says, I'm breeding for what I like, this is her breed. This is what she created. What we're saying when you buy a breed, when I buy a Doberman, is that I liked what Louis Doberman created. I like what he created with a Doberman. So why am I trying to change the very thing that I bought because I like what he created?
Mm-hmm.
So when someone says, what is the hardest thing when it comes to sustaining a breed? For the Shorty Bull, the number one thing was the show ring. The show ring was the biggest threat. And I know people aren't going to understand this when I say it, so let me slow it
Oh,
down.
yeah. This was a
Because the
big
show
one.
ring
Yeah.
is supposed
That's
to,
the question.
the standard is supposed to protect the breed in all things that is that breed. However, when a breed is first beginning in its fledgling, whether it be the American Bully or the Shorty Bull, the show ring brings so many different varieties or types or personalities or people that it gets twisted. And at that point, breed type changes because people say, this is the one I like in the ring. This is what I want to breed for.
Mm-hmm.
The Shorty Bull has this wonderful bubble around it. And that bubble is protected by certain people. And
Yeah.
luckily for the Shorty Bull, those people were very powerful and influential. And if Bully the Kid was saying, I don't like it, then there would be 50 other people saying they don't like it. If Jamie Sweet said she didn't like it, there'd be 300 people saying don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. So we had a very bubble surrounding our breed. So there weren't a lot of things. When people wanted to introduce color in the Shorty Bull and we said no, literally, I remember, you
And
better not. Like I literally, and
yeah.
I'll say it here, was instrumental in like destroying a registry because of it. Like, yo, we're not accepting that anymore. But that goes with being respected by other people, whether it be Jamie is the owner of the BBC, Dave's the owner of the ABKC. I was a go-between for both of them, and I was respected by both. So I was able to put in things to protect our breed and not allow just random F1 breedings by anyone. It was a very controlled thing. When you lose control, when you look at the American Bully, as much as I love that breed of dog, there was no control because everybody wanted to allow everything.
Yeah.
There was
It
never a
was
no.
really
If you think about the
That's the
American Bully,
worst thing you can do.
there was
Oh
never
yeah.
a no.
Release
There was
this.
never a no.
Yeah.
It was a variety created. So if I said, man, I really like a short dog, well, that one's too short. Instead of saying no, we created a variety pocket. You know, I love the American Bully, but I want one so much bigger. Well, you can't. We don't say no. We create the Excel. You know what? I've got an American Bully, but it just ain't bully. We create the classic.
Classic.
Yeah. So we, in what Dave did in creating this open thing for everybody to be involved, which I love inclusion. I love inclusion. That's the danger to breed type. That's the danger to breed type. You can't have open-ended inclusion with everything in dogs. You just can't.
No other breed
I
has.
I
No.
love a spotted Dalmatian, so I want a spotted Doberman. It's not the way it works. Not the way. I don't want a Doberman at that point. You know what I'm saying? If I want
Yeah.
it to
That's
look
what you
like
no longer want
Congo,
to do.
I don't want a Doberman. And that's okay because you know what I can do? I can go make my Dobermation, you know, and get that together. My Doberman. My
Hey, ask
dog.
your neighbor for advice.
That's my neighbor for
The
advice.
Doberman death for no reason.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that I think for Vino's question,
Yeah.
the hardest thing to maintain breed type is what we as people deem likable. What we deem is what we like. If you look at the exotic world, that's what it's created on. It's just created because People like that,
Yeah.
you know? And once you like it and enough people like it, today's society says do it, you know? My son used to like running around naked in the rain. I said no, so he didn't get to do it. You know what I'm saying? But now we don't really have a world where we say no very often. We normally say yes. We normally say, when it comes to dogs, we say yes.
Yeah.
And Jamie lives in Kansas, so if you didn't notice that you lost her because in Marysville, Kansas, when more than 17 people get on the internet, she loses service.
It's bad. I mean, Marysville is kind of, it's not exactly, it's Marysville, Kansas. I get it. I've been there. It is what
Why
it
you
is.
say you've been everywhere?
Everywhere in Kansas she has been. She has visited
everywhere.
all 10 cities.
Oh,
I've been everywhere and
she's visited all 10 cities. She's
damn.
toured the Pony Express trails and knows everything that goes on. Well, we lost Jamie because, like I said, when 17 people log on, we lose her.
It is that bad, and I can attest to that. It's bad.
Saying add me back.
Yeah, Adam's like, what my Wi-Fi? Yeah,
She has dial up.
Oh yeah. Let me see if it'll let me add. Oh, hold it. I'm gonna send an invite. It's
Have you ever
adding.
noticed how close Amanda gets to the camera?
Yes, especially when someone drops. She's
You know,
right there.
nobody
Right?
believes how bad the phone service is here
I
until they're here.
We
on my
believe
cord.
it.
We just said I told them if more than 17 people in Marysville start using the internet at one time, we will lose her. Somebody
No kidding, it's a rush.
Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good question though.
Okay.
That was a good question, Vino. I think that
No.
when you're breeding, I think that was something that people need to look at. You know, I mean, especially
Yeah.
in companion breeds where they don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a job, so the only job our breeds normally have is to look good. So looking good is very relative. You know what I'm saying? There's only a
Yeah,
couple things in the world that
it's
are
a good job.
universally considered good looking. Me and Shorty Bulls, probably.
Right.
Probably.
Mhm.
Not many other things that
No,
are
Oh,
universally
of course not.
everybody could agree on. You know what I'm saying? That's probably.
you said that with such confidence. Me, first of all.
Good. Didn't even miss a
Let's
beat.
get that out there.
I'm just saying that's what happens. They're like, yo, that's it. But no, I think that's a good question. You know, what's funny is when I remember with Jamie was we were talking about producers. What makes a good producer?
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, it is so much easier when you're just trying to produce a badass dog. You know what I'm saying? When there's not a job. And I don't say it's easy like you can do it all the time because there's a whole lot of badass dogs that can't make badass dogs. Jamie was always able to make what I liked about what she was able to do was make whatever you wanted from any dog that she deemed worthy. And this is why. Because every one of her dogs fit the standard. You see what I'm saying? So as long as they fit the standard, you could create a show
Yeah,
dog
you can.
anytime.
I mean, that's just, that's simple. But again, that's the beauty of a program,
It is.
you know?
So with Cassius, I used to say the hardest thing about Cassius was I gave him a job. He was the all-time winningest Shorty Bull. So at
Yes,
that
he was.
point, the only way he was going to be deemed a good producer in my mind was to produce other winning dogs because
Yes.
I gave him a job. If I never gave him a job, it wouldn't matter. So when he made Bronco, and people used to say Bronco was better than him, I used to get mad. But at the same time, it was the best compliment because that's what he's
Yes.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
So he is the greatest dog of all time, and he created a dog that people argued about.
Yeah.
Then
All of
he
a
won
sudden, his
nationals.
son supersedes him, and you're sitting there thinking like,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
he
even
was.
know about that.
It goes beyond that because he was a number one dog. He was a
Mhm.
national winner. The only thing he could do, in my mind, to be a good producer for me was do the same thing, which he did. He made a national winner. He made a number one dog. Then
Outproduce
that
yourself.
dog went on to do it again. Now Cassius did it twice. Twice he did created number one dogs and
Yeah.
national winners.
Wow.
So when you look at those dogs, it was like whoa. And then he made dogs that never had to show, like Dark Horse. One of Jamie's favorite
Yeah.
dogs, who
Oh,
also
my
went
God. Dark
on,
Horse.
who
Well,
also went
phenomenal.
on, who never been in a show ring, but he created a national winner and a number one dog in Savage.
Yeah.
And these dogs are not bred just exclusively with Blue River. These are being bred to outcrosses and different things. And now all the dogs in his pedigree, like you go through the national winners, most of them go back to him. So it's like that's the job. But if you don't give a dog a job, and you can say, I want you to make, you should still be able to make it. Like Dark Horse never went in the show ring. My dog Clever's never been in the show ring. He's made a national
Oh, he
winner.
went in the show ring once. Remember when he was a little brat? And
Yeah, he
How
won.
did that go?
one time, yeah.
Yeah, he
I'm
won when
not
he went in there, but he
won it.
didn't need to do
Yeah.
that. So it was very unique.
Dark Horse
It's raining
was
here.
kind of, he was hard to, I mean, he was a bullheaded dog.
He was a good dog. So I think
He
that
was
people,
beautiful.
I hope people take advantage of
Contrasting
talking to
opinions.
Jamie.
I love it.
Say what?
Those were two contrasting opinions. I love it.
About what?
No, about him. She was just like, yeah, he was hard headed. Like, yeah, it's a good dog. And then just
He
kept
was
He
a
going.
was,
great
man.
dog.
He,
I
okay,
just
so,
love
yeah, he had a little attitude to him,
love it.
but,
He didn't want to show. He didn't want to show. Couldn't be a show dog.
well,
It's a good dog though, and great producer.
well,
Great
what
producer.
happened was, yeah, Bully didn't get a hold of him right away, you know, and I just, whoa, he didn't have a leash on for a long time.
He's another dog I didn't pick based on color. I didn't pick him
Oh,
based
yeah,
on his
yeah, I
color.
forgot that part, yeah.
He's brindling
Oh,
white,
yeah.
and I picked a
That
cream.
was a, people should do that more often, man. That was a fun day in the backyard.
Yeah, it was.
I'm getting off your story, sorry, but that was a
No,
fun day
no,
in the
it's
backyard.
your
Today we
story. It's
evaluated
not mine.
puppies.
Oh, you're here. We want your
Yes.
story.
Tell
Yeah,
us
Oh
about it.
man,
it's
well
just
we used to evaluate dogs like till the sun came up, and it was brutal,
it's another
and it was
story of
some of the
someone
best.
stealing a dog from Bully the Kid. They heard several stories about people that tricked me into picking a lesser
Trick,
dog.
man, it was fun. We could clear a back room really kind of
Yeah,
sometimes, couldn't we, Bully?
that was a good one. Yeah, that was another one. You know, anytime you have a chance, I wish more people would relish in the opportunity of going to see their puppies. In today's day and age, everybody has their puppies shipped to them,
Yeah.
and you really never can assess a litter through pictures and
Yeah.
video. Not you can, but not it's not the
Mm-hmm.
same as going
Not
there
equally, yeah. No,
in
totally.
live action. Like I think the
And
most
hanging out, and
Yeah.
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
The most beautiful thing that we've lost in dogs is that personal day. And it starts with puppy picking day. If we all were getting the puppy off the same litter, I don't care if you got first pick or last pick. I think when you do that in person at 8 weeks old and you
yeah.
have to wait while that first person makes their pick, and then you got second pick and you're hoping they don't pick yours, and
And you
you're
always
breaking
say,
it
well,
down.
you got first pick. Well, you got first pick of the opposite sex.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's
Yeah.
oh yeah,
fun.
yeah,
It's a lot of learning. And I don't like to do I'll tell you now, I don't like to do puppies based on sex, or gender. I always pick versus number.
Yeah.
Just you got first, second, third, fourth. If you want a girl and you're picking second, and that person ahead of you gets a boy, guess what? You get first pick female. But I
yeah.
just like you just having a number
First
because
pick overall. Period.
yeah, because I might go
That's
there
just
and
a good one.
we're so big on planning shit out. Like
Hey,
Yeah.
I have to get a female right now. I've got to get a male. Man, every time I picked a dog, I've always wanted the best dog available.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't care about anything else because it's going to move my program the same way. And people get caught up on, I want my name on it. I want it to say, Bully the Kid line. Let that shit go
Yeah.
and pick the best puppy
your name's
out
gonna get on it. I mean, you're gonna be known for something, you know, if you do it enough times. I mean,
of
bad or good or whatever you do, you know.
yeah, that's what you have to do is just pick the best puppy, and that's my advice to people. If you don't know, yeah, you might be like, I don't want to have a female in heat. Be a responsible owner. If you get a female, then bring it home and take care of it so that you don't have an accidental breeding. You know what I'm saying? But
But
Yeah.
it's
pick the best puppy.
when you
That's
got somebody that can really pick apart dogs, man, and you like breeding and you actually have goals and you're trying to fix shit and juggle the rest of it too and not lose stuff, and you know, there's nothing better than, you know, somebody that can go toe to toe with you on that, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
and I mean, and be right and make you see things that, you know,
yeah.
I don't
Jamie
know, it's
definitely
fun,
has.
but there's levels to this, I guess, and you know, nobody likes to hear that, but
Yeah.
you know, a 10-year vet's not going to be picking the same way a 2-year person is probably. And that's just the breaks, you know?
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Until you fight with your mentor, you ain't got a mentor. I'm gonna tell you right
Right.
now.
Right.
Until you fight with your
Yeah.
mentor, and you guys make up. You got to make up. That's an important part of being a mentor. If it's not a mentor, it's just somebody that didn't like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you don't make up, it's
That's
just
the one,
somebody that
like,
didn't
they
like
may have advised you, but they don't want you to eventually be better than that.
you. Hey, you know what? I'm going to be completely honest because I don't care. I tell people all the time, buying a dog for me does not make me your mentor.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Or your
That
educator
that
or any
makes
of that.
that makes you a
Yeah.
customer, a
Yeah.
client. That's it. Mentorship to me is something that I choose. I choose. The only time you can get me as a mentor is if you send me an email from the ABKC and I'm an ABKC mentor, so I will mentor you, but I don't like you. Therefore, I'm not really your mentor.
Mhm.
Not everyone, because to me, I take it so seriously. I don't want to mentor someone that's going to
Yeah.
be gone in 9 months. You know, I don't
Yeah.
want to
Why?
mentor someone who doesn't. You know, on this live right now, there's somebody that popped in, named Randy Good. I'm gonna tell you that story because he's probably never even heard it, but I don't mind. There's a couple of people in Shorty Bull that have challenged me. Very few people. Most of them just bow down and listen. Um, Jamie Sweet not included in that because she was my mentor. One was Miles Lanier. Miles Lanier was a complete pompous asshole. Hated Miles Lanier. Wanted to put my hands around his throat several times. Like drug him. Like let's go in the bathroom. Like really like fighting at shows. But he challenged me because he really did care about the breed. And one of the things that I know he'll never hear
Hey.
this, but I'll give him credit for. One of the things that he made me learn, and I love to tell people this all the time, is when somebody challenges you and they make you learn something. It's very rare for me. He said one time he wanted a dog to be sound. And we were in a debate. We would get in long debates on Facebook. And when he said it, I hated that word sound. But then I hated it because at the time, I thought it was a very great point that he made. I really did in my mind. Of course, I didn't tell him this at the time. I just said, idiot. But because of him, to this day, I think of soundness, and it is something that I preach to people about what soundness means and what a sound dog is. And that all came from somebody I literally hated and hated me, like literally. But it was someone that you learn from. And I think
Mhm.
Randy, who was just on here, Randy came many years after me, many years. He did not bow down to the bullet. He hated the whole "I've been here this long, therefore don't write me because I've been here for 20 years." Shut up. That sometimes I would do that when I don't have a lot of time.
And Randy did everything, you know. He
Randy,
talked. He told me what puppy he wanted. We got the puppy. Came to the kennel. He did it all. Like
he was a
right.
really smart individual. Really, really, he wrote well. Most of the time with me because I write well. Nobody writes against me because I write so well, and they don't, and I literally talk down upon people.
Gosh.
But I couldn't do that with Randy because he was so smart, and he had good dogs. He had good taste, and I'll never. I don't know if he's still on here, but he did something that pissed me off. Okay, not many things pissed me off.
Oh,
He buys my dog Clever. I've only bred several times. I love this dog. I breed him very sparingly. He buys the best bitch off of
hey,
Clever out of
quit.
breeding. And he owns so he owns a dog. It's not my dog, but anything that comes off my mail, I'm kind of like Khan in this. It's mine. Like I don't care. Like we have similarities that way. If you own something that comes off of one of my dogs, trust me, it's mine.
They ran his
I
mic around out there.
I will call you.
Okay,
I will
I
jump
gotta
on
switch
you.
these guys.
I will be in your business. I will be like, damn. But I only do this if I like the dog you have.
Yeah.
And he had a female named Trixie. And I think this bitch is a phenomenal bitch, beautiful bitch. And he bought the dog. And at the same time I was mad, I took it as the biggest thing of respect because it was something off of something that I had. You know what I'm saying? And I think in dogs too often we take things so personal that we miss the lessons that we can learn from people. You know what I'm saying? Lately in the dog world right now, I look at all these things that are happening that people are saying are drama and all of that. And I don't look at it as drama. I just look at it as these things happen in dogs every day. Every day. There's going to be someone that doesn't pay you back. There's going to be someone that moves on and
Mm-hmm.
blocks you or whatever. Bro, there's going to be dogs that die and people fight and fall out and they'll come back together because dogs is a big circle. It really is. And if you care about dogs like Jamie does with Shorty Bulls, you got to get to the point where you can understand that it's really not bigger than the dogs. You know, it really isn't. It really isn't. So
Nothing at all.
people ask me all the time, Bully, do you think Jamie's changed the breed too much? And I remember when they could jump a 6-foot fence.
That.
They'll say, I remember when a Shorty Bull could jump a 6-foot fence. We need to get back to that. No, we damn sure don't. Because that was never what we wanted. You know what I'm saying?
And it all, they sped it up faster than it should have been. You know, and everybody likes the shit they have.
They
you
do.
know,
They do.
I mean,
if you got a one-legged wife, then one-legged women are the most beautiful women in the world. I don't want to buy my wife a peg. I'd rather buy her a pair of shoes, not a wooden peg and paint it every other holiday. You know what I'm saying? I don't want her to be walking around. I got to give her nicknames like Kickstand. You know what I'm saying?
Food, water, compliment, and occasional pair of shoes.
Jamie, I can't be replacing wooden pegs all the time. People just calling around calling her stiletto, stilego. I'm like, that's stilego.
Sometimes just call her Peg.
That would be cool if her name was just Peg. Hey, Peg. Her name is Barbara, but we call her Peg.
Yeah, but you got to know where people are, you know? People want to like what they have, and they want what they have to be, you know, the top shelf shit. And I mean, and they're not at a place where they're even realizing what they're even saying yet, you know?
Yeah.
And then you go through all that and you tell them, and then what'd you do that for?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but yeah.
Jamie, I expected bigger laughs about the Barbara Peg joke.
Well, you know.
What about Stilego? You just look straight over Stilego.
Yeah.
That was anyway.
Stiletto.
No, Stilego.
Stiletto. Okay, yeah, I get it now.
See, this is what my girlfriend. See how she just ignores my shenanigans when I'm just. We've been doing these radio shows.
You know,
for a
I try to be
long
so
time.
good on these lives, you know.
Why do you try to be good?
You don't have to be yourself with us.
You know, I don't want to be.
Hey, Amanda, no. Hell no. Don't push it too far. She can't be herself, but she don't have to be so guarded. Asking her to be herself, hell no.
Don't do that.
No. There's a fine line.
Yeah. That's a little rugged. But you know, that's what happens when you're in dogs this long. That's what happens to you. So be careful. Be getting out before it affects you like this.
Yeah. Be honest.
Because I was a different person before I came over here.
Jamie, listen. Be honest. When y'all first saw Shorty Bulls, y'all did not like them. Y'all thought they were hideous, gross creatures, right? You two, not me and Jamie. We obviously have invested in them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you didn't see ours.
Did you guys like
them?
What do you think?
Yeah,
you're an XL guy. There's no way you like Shorty Bulls.
It was
You're an XL guy.
Okay.
I'm
not a short dog person, but I like the structure of a dog. If a small, compact version of a dog,
you know,
absolutely.
Oh, you got to graduate to them. That's for sure. Yeah.
But you first saw them, you're like, not my cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. Absolutely.
What about you, Amanda?
I have, though I've had big dogs almost my whole life.
There we go.
Well, that's the thing. That's a lot of dogs.
No, I know. I'm a big dog too.
The older I get, the more I'm just like, God, you know, I want something that literally, if it's acting a fool, like I don't want to have to literally get to the point where I'm sacrificing my body to prevent this dog from doing anything.
Yeah.
Period.
Wow.
Right? So the smaller, it's starting to get better. And again, I remember, Jamie, when the first time that I saw a Shorty Bull, again at National 2022, I remember looking at that and being like, I know what it
win that national?
That blows back down to breed type. I know what that's not. I like that. What is
Wait,
that?
I won that national.
And I don't know.
Wait,
I just
pause. I won that national at 2022.
What'd you say?
Didn't I win
2022?
2022?
Did I win that national? Yeah, I won that national.
What?
My dog won at the 2022 Nationals, did it? Wait.
Did he?
No, 2021, baby. You would have won either
Maybe it was 17.
Yeah, I won 2021. Never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, no.
Yeah, that other dog on Smush won 2022.
You were announcing. You were the MC for 2022.
Yeah, I won.
So remember, you had to catch a flight. You kept reminding him, like, "Hey, y'all get to the ring on time because I got a flight to catch." You're like, killing me.
Oh, yeah, that's the Nationals I left.
Yeah,
I came in the meeting and I left.
that was that year. But that was the first year that I remember
Yeah.
seeing a
So
Shorty
basically, you
Bull.
still haven't
I
really
just
seen
remember
a
looking
good
at that and
Shorty
I'm like,
Bull.
really like that. What is that?
Yeah.
Like, I know that it's not a Frenchie, and I know that it's not, a bulldog or an oldie. Like, I just, like, I kind of, that piqued my
So you
interest.
still
I never
haven't
heard
really
of that.
seen you haven't seen a good one then.
Well, no. So, and here's the deal. Like, recently, I want to say, there's been some good ones that have come out and everything. And I remember the first one I actually got to be at, like, I think you might have, I can't remember if you had joined at this point, but I remember,
I heard about the backflip dog and stuff. I really only care if you're talking about one of my dogs, so never mind. New question. Once you said you saw it in 2022, I just was like, geez.
I
no,
lost
no.
interest.
Like, so that was the first time I'd seen one, and I was like, that was my intro,
Yeah.
I guess, to
Hey,
seeing a
that's
short
better
people
than
and being
my
able to
intro. My
differentiate.
intro was Blue Rock. That was a horrible one. No, I'm just trying. See, look, you guys got me talking crap on here. I'm going to be canceled. No, the reason I asked you that question was because of exactly what you said. When people say what is good about a Shorty Bull, it's what you said. It's
Yeah.
really about where you are in life at that moment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I love the Shorty Bull because I'm gonna tell you right now, I was over pit bulls and scared to open the front door, and my neighbor's Labrador coming into my yard, and my dog not liking other dogs, and having little kids. And I was like, man, I love a pit bull so much, but it's so much stress.
So
Now, the Doberman is a lot of stress too. So I remember wanting a dog that was.
So I'm
I
getting
wanted
another
a
one.
dog. Yeah, I wanted a dog that looked tough. I always thought Frenchies were feminine.
Yeah.
I always thought Frenchies were a very feminine looking breed to me. I just felt like women own Frenchies or little fat short guys own Frenchies. It just was weird to me. You know what I'm saying? It was weird to walk around with that dog. So I didn't like it. And I liked Englishes. But
Yeah.
Englishes were really big, really funky, and really wrinkly, and they always looked dirty to me. So I didn't want an English. And I came across a Shorty Bull, and I was like, wow, it was muscled up. It
yeah,
looked like a guy's
Yeah.
dog. It
yeah.
looked like a guy's dog. I love attention. I wanted a dog that people would look at and they'd be like, whoa, what is that? Let me talk to this guy for 5 hours. That slowly went away. That went away. But that's what I wanted. And then I wanted what you just said. I don't know if I told you or another podcast. I've been on a podcast circuit promoting the Atlanta Bully Marathon on April 27th and 28th. I have to say that because Rolando will curse me out. I realized the other day, people say, well, why didn't you just get more Shorty Bulls when you got the Doberman? And I said, once you hit 40, I feel like you've only got about 3 more big dogs left in you. Because if you get one at 40, it's going to live till you're 50. You get another one, you're 60. And by the time you're 70, you just can't have a bunch of Dobermans. You know what I'm saying? So, like, enjoy your eggshells now, because if you're 70, they're probably going to be too much dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, if I don't get one now, I'm probably not going to have a lot of time to enjoy a big dog. But Shorty Bulls gave me the opportunity to have a big dog in a little package that still did crazy things. I know this is going to sound bad. I don't even know if I should say this on the air, but I'm not going to have a TV show anytime soon. I wanted a dog that was scrappy. Does that make sense? I like a scrappy dog.
If that's bad,
I want
Man,
I
I've
mean, if
always,
that's bad,
yeah. If
yeah,
that
I
dog
always
has
wanted a
zero
scrappy
personality,
dog.
I'm gonna get bored. I'm gonna get bored.
I didn't want a punk dog. Like, I never
Yeah.
wanted a
well,
dog that
supposed to
another dog can't.
reflect you, your personality,
Yeah.
you know.
So
Yeah.
I like scrappy dogs too.
I like a scrappy
I mean, that's
Dog,
not wrong. That's just your
Yeah.
personality, you know?
yeah. So I mean, I've always liked a dog that would be down for a little scrap. Not that I would let them, but just that they were ready
Yeah.
for it. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
Well,
love that
you know,
about.
they flex, they
Yeah,
flex, they
they would
look
flex
great.
up. They would
Mm-hmm.
look
The
great.
chocolate shit. Yeah,
I mean,
Look
that's
absolutely.
all
what.
you have to do is hang on in the ring when they've got a little
Yeah,
fire in.
and I like that. You know, and there's other breeds of dogs that I like that, and there's some terriers that I like that act the same way. You know, but that's what I wanted. I like that, and I think too many people are afraid to admit that type of attractiveness when it comes to dogs. I think the American Bully just looks like this amazing animal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at an XL American Bully, I'm like, good God, that is an amazing, beautiful
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
dog. I love that. Um, that's what I liked about Shorty Bulls. And I think if you ever did a poll, when I started doing the book
Hmm.
on the American Bully, when the American Bully first came around, 99% of the people that owned an American Bully owned a pit bull first.
Absolutely.
95% of them.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
They
been in
all
the
came from that.
dominant, if not 100%.
Right.
That's the segue.
So Shorty Bulls were unique because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people that first owned Shorty Bulls, a lot of them came from bigger bulldog breeds
Yeah.
Hmm.
because that was
Yep.
Jamie's.
English and
Everyone knew her from
American.
there. She created
Yeah.
Old.
amazing oldies. And then you got people that got Frenchies and the Frenchies were dying, or they read about Frenchies and they were not healthy. So then you get another wave of Shorty Bull owners. So you get different types of breeds. Like an American Bully, like I said,
Hmm. Different types.
predominantly came from pit bull people that really didn't want a true game dog. They wanted
They
an
wanted
impressive
Yeah.
pit
convenience.
bull.
Yeah.
They wanted an
Hmm.
impressive pit bull, and that's what the American Bully was. The Shorty Bull came from pit bull people, American Bully people, oldie people, English people,
Hmm.
Frenchy
Yeah.
people. It was such a unique thing because
Oh.
bulldogs are unique. So it's just like, do you like a bulldog looking dog, and you're gonna fall in love with Shorty Bulls? I think it was the most amazing thing that you could do. I like that Puff came on here and he said his first dog was a Shorty Bull. I
Yeah.
love
Mm-hmm.
that. That's an incredible thing. When your first dog ever was a Shorty Bull, wow, you know. But
Yeah. Pretty cool.
normally our breeds are not first first breed dogs, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
as a whole, bully breeds often aren't first breed dogs. You know what I'm saying? Most people's first dog isn't an oldie. They normally own something else, and then they
Yeah.
found an
Hmm.
oldie.
Yeah.
Um,
So that
that's
gateway breed.
I find
yeah,
that
it's
a
a
lot of
gateway
people
breed.
like a custom built, everything custom built, you know?
Yeah, hmm
That's attractive to a lot of people, you know?
yeah.
Custom built,
Being
you know, they're
bred.
not all over the
Yeah.
place. I love that, you know?
Look
It's
how many
no
people
fun.
nowadays are attracted to rare. Man, I want a fluffy because no one ever had that. You know what I'm saying? I want
I,
a
I
Merle
never was like
puppy.
that.
You never like people that just want something different.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
do
are
like
like that.
custom stuff, though, you know?
Well, custom
But,
to you is built onto something that already exists. I think now we're at a point where everybody wants something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want an XL, but it's got to be Tiger Strike. And I don't mean Brindle. I mean orange, black, blue.
Mm-hmm.
I
and I
want a
don't
dog.
mean
Looking
Brindle.
nuts,
Yeah,
Karen.
yeah, it's kind of weird. So I think that's kind of a unique thing about Shorty Bulls is because they always kind of fit that you never seen one before. You
Yeah.
know, I'll tell you guys now. I think the Shorty Bull is well on its way to its most popular time.
I
Nice.
agree.
Even though I think that when I had them and I was promoting them in the show ring, it was very popular in the show world. I think it's going to hit another influx of people that just learn
But
about these dogs.
promoting is such an important, you know, part of moving a breed. And, you know, I mean, I don't do what I used to do anymore because I don't drive across the country for these dog shows or for whatever. And, you know, you have to have promoters and they have to understand the breed and they have to understand promotion. You know, that's a whole
Yeah.
nother part of it that needs to be understood because it's more than just, you know, it's more than just a superficial thing. You know, you have to know what you can do, where you can go, you know, and how you're going to do it. And I don't know. But the show ring, the show ring was good, and it got a lot of people in the show ring. Also, it just that competitive thing, like I'm gonna get one because I'm gonna bully the kid's ass or whatever. That's how it was, didn't they? Yes, and they
There
would
was,
come up.
yeah, there was a
Yep,
lot of people like that.
a
There was a
lot of
lot of
that.
people
That
like
would
that.
just and I mean, as a show, as a handler, whatever, and me as the breeder, it's a tough thing to do.
It was a very
That's your work,
in your
girl.
face thing.
Crazy dancing. Like, let other people drive the bus now. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, but it was tough, I mean, it's just kind of silly to think of how it was then. But we competed hard, hard. We really did. We really, really did.
It would not be allowed today. It would be frowned upon the
What?
way we competed.
Why? How did it get that way? Why? How did it get that way that it's so bad to be competitive now?
One, I think, okay, people like to compete, but people don't like domination. There's a couple of dogs. There's a couple of dogs that dominated. And if you look at it now, if people accept being dominated a lot more than I ever would. You know what I'm saying? Than I ever would.
Yeah.
Like, a dog like Bear would drive me crazy. A dog like Zero would drive me crazy. A dog like Blue. These dogs that won every freaking time would drive me crazy. Like, I got to beat them. I had to beat them. Like, for me, I
got
have
to
to.
be better.
I know people don't understand that, but now it's so everyone's happy with losing. I never was happy
That's
with
so
losing.
crazy. Like I never went to a show just to have the experience. Never.
What?
I
I would
never
like to.
went to the show just to, get the experience. I never went to a show I took something that I thought and had a pretty good idea was going to dominate.
Sure.
Why would you go with anything less? The standard's right there. It tells
I
you what
got
to
the
bring. Why
information.
would you go with less just to see how you did? No, I
Go
never did
won
that.
40 something in a row. 40
No,
something
I
in a row
never.
without me losing. And every single win, I was talking about it. Every single day. I was on Facebook. I was calling dogs out. I was calling out owners. I was calling out handlers.
I remember you talking about flipping tables and shoving
No,
ribbons off and shit. Oh,
that was when I was young. That was dog that only won 10 in a row.
that wasn't my
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, that wasn't a Shorty Bull. When the Shorty Bull came, it was like Bistro, Castro. It didn't matter. Like, for Best in Show, I wanted to beat every single one, every time. He won 50 some Best in Shows. Like, it was like, now I faced Blue in Georgia, and I beat him with one of my little females. But I told Kira, like, I want to beat you. Like, I want to beat you. I told Tone's little girl, Christina, I want to be her hero. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't come in the ring with me and think you're going to win. You're not
Don't
going
put
to
your
win.
kids in that situation.
Yeah.
Don't do
I used
it.
to look at parents like, Logan, I used to look at his dad like, hey, why are you videoing this?
Yeah.
Like, help your son. Help your kid, bro. Like, he's about to get whooped. But it was fun. Now it's not like that. Now it's
It was fun. It was so intense,
Now I
It
love the
was.
little Shorty Bull that's winning, but Kira is so sweet. Kira is so sweet. Kira wins so professionally and so kind, and it gets on my nerves. Like, literally, I don't want to. I don't even listen.
Shit, I hate it.
Listen. No, listen. She'll believe. If you ever get her on, ask her. I will create a dog just to beat that dog. Like, it's not. It's just the way I think about it. I will call Jamie. I will show up at Nationals with a Blue Ribbon dog that I will just go get a month before Nationals, just to beat you, just to win, because that's what dog showing is to me. Dog showing to me is like, I want the dog shows to get back to representing the best dog in the world at that ring.
Yeah.
If I had an American bully, then I want the best American bully in the world. I want the best Excel every time I step in the ring.
Yeah.
And like, now I think it's more, there's so many other ways we're creating to win. You know what I'm saying? Win the stack off, win the fun show, win your class, it's only one winner. It's the Best in Show winner. That's it. Like, if you win Best in Show, that means you didn't lose. If you win 4 Best in Shows, that means I didn't lose all day. You're not gonna lose all weekend. That's what I want. It's what I want, and I know there were people that hated it. I know there were people that loved the sportsmanship of shaking hands, and I always shook competitors' hands. I didn't like to, but I did because I knew people wanted me. But I knew people wanted me to lose, so it was like there's no reason to be a bad sport. If you beat me, of course you're happy. You beat me, I'm the best. You know what I'm saying? You should be happy. That was my attitude. Like
Yeah.
I wanted, if you beat me, think about it like this: if someone beats you and it doesn't mean anything, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's like you didn't even matter. They expected
Yeah.
to do that.
Didn't accomplish anything.
And that's
Yeah.
all cool when the judges are respected because they know what they're doing. Now, this
Yeah.
gets all out of whack when we get a whack judge in there. Then
Yeah.
that's a
There's
big
emergency
problem
Best Bull Breed standard for the Shorty Bull. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot
for
of
any
judges out
breed.
here
I
that
mean, the judges have to know what they're doing. Period.
Yeah.
it is.
You got to
It
be
is a
on the
different.
same page. You know, you got to understand that. It's
Yeah.
not about one. It's a breed. A breed is about a population of consistent animals here.
I still
So,
have trophies that I won under Jamie that meant the world to me. As many best in shows as I've won, as many best of breeds, like I won under Jamie.
you remember the first time you showed, and it was under me.
Oh yeah, I
You
remember.
told me I had a really mean
How did that
face.
go?
You remember?
How did it go?
How did it go?
Listen, I don't bring a dog in the ring that I don't think is gonna win the whole damn show. He won
Right.
the whole
That's for
damn show.
real.
He won the whole damn show. There was 2 judges there. The lady who created Blue
Mm-hmm.
Rock was there too. She hated me, but my dog was the best dog. She had to pick me.
Yeah.
Like, why would
Yeah.
you go to a show? Okay, why would I go to a show to lose? Why would I
Right.
go without a dog that I really thought could win every single trophy? Think about this. You know when we throw shows, like I'm throwing a show right now, like I said, Atlanta Bully Marathon April 27, 28. I put up all my trophies. Do you ever look at those big best in show trophies and you really think about how many people really think they can win that trophy?
Mm-hmm.
100 people come to a show. How many people do you think really think they can win that trophy?
Realistically, I would certainly hope that it would at least be 5.
5
Yeah. Maybe
Well,
a
I
handful.
hope
But
everybody that brings a dog brings.
yeah.
I wish they'd bring with
I
that
would
attitude, like I'm gonna win.
certainly
Not just
hope that their dog would be worth. Like,
Mhm.
but we also have to understand that, like, not everybody's going to bring a dog that they know is worth it. They're bringing a dog that they're hoping is worth it.
Right.
Hope and
well, that's
confidence
their
are
fault
two
if they're
different
hoping or they're knowing. You know.
You're right, though. It's like 5 people. So when I would go to a show, I would look at the trophies, whether it was the chessboard. I got a stubby trophy right now that's worth like $8,000. Like it's one of 3 made. It's beautiful. I told Jamie before I went to South Florida, I'm gonna win that trophy.
Whoa.
Robert Lee with Bistro was
Mhm.
like, nah, I'm gonna win that trophy.
Mhm.
It's like, you're not gonna win that
Was
trophy.
that back when he had Bistro?
Yeah, Bistro.
Mhm.
Denzel was there, Bistro was there. It didn't matter. It did not
Mhm.
matter to me. I'm winning the trophy. You had to win a best in show to qualify to be in for the best of the best. So think about it. Only a couple dogs ever really think they're gonna have. I'm sure you have XLs. Probably as an XL, you're like, man, it's hard to win a best in show with an XL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You probably only seen it a couple times. So with me, it had gotten to the point where they knew that the Shorty Bull that was gonna be there for best in show was Bully the Kid. Like there was no way. I mean, I'm not gonna lose to the American Bully. I'm damn sure not gonna lose to a Shorty Bull. You know what I'm saying? So like that was my attitude. So
Yeah.
in
That's
Cassidy's
right. That's
career,
what it was.
he only lost 3 times his whole time. Like 72-3, like the Chicago
Yeah.
Bulls. Like
Say it again.
72-3.
272 and
Devil
3.
Horn beat him.
Sounds.
With me handling him, that
That's
was it.
cool.
Yeah.
Devil Horn, and then that dude Miles Lanier's dog, Colt 45, beat him at Nationals.
Yeah.
And every
Mhm.
time he went in, my attitude was like, I can take this trophy home.
Yeah.
But if we're not getting our people, and
That's right.
this is what we want to do for our people, tell them, like, I
Mhm.
want you to give that dog an opportunity to win best in show. I want to sell you a dog that can win best in show. That was so important to me. Like when I was done showing myself, it was so important that my people that bought dogs from me experienced the best in show at some point. Because
Yeah.
I can't make you a good breeder. I can't make you Jamie Sweet or a good whelper, but I can sell you a dog that can win. I can tell you what to do. But
And
you know
my
what
kid
goes
showed
into
that.
that? That means listening to me. That means don't post that picture of that dog taking a poop in your yard. That means don't post that picture of him looking easty-westy.
Yeah.
That means I don't care if your 4-year-old daughter is hugging him. If he's standing effed up, he's standing effed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tell your daughter to pick him up and hold him in there. Don't put him on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're ruining. I know
Yeah.
people are like laughing, but for real.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
Jamie, I used to send Jamie picture after picture after picture. One of the biggest fights we had, a Tommy dog. I took this picture of my
Oh,
dog.
shit.
I thought Cassius looked great. He had this big
You didn't hear this one.
Louis Vuitton collar on. It had spikes
Oh,
all over it.
yeah.
I took the picture. I sent it to Jamie, and she's like, "I hate this picture." No, I said, "What do you think?"
I
And she
hated it.
said,
It's so
She said,
bad.
"You want to know what I really think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I fucking hate it." And I was like, "This is the best picture I've ever taken of this dog."
He's like, oh man, he looks so
I
good.
said, "He looks so good." I think one of his teeth were hanging out. Like, he was looking. Hey, she said, "I fucking hate it." So now I got mad because my feelings are hurt. And I don't listen. So, of course, I put the picture up. She goes in on my dog. "Oh, my God, Bully. It looks horrible." And I said, "Well, what don't you like about it?" His head looks small. Teeth hanging out his mouth.
His collar was
does
huge,
not
like
look-
humongous.
The collar looks ridiculous. You got him out there looking like this. This is just a horrible picture, and you should know better. Oh, I'm posting this shit now. This shit is getting posted. At this point, it's getting posted. One of the
This
first
collar
What is
ate the whole dog up, okay?
One of the first four
It
comments
ate
was,
the whole dog up. It was
"Oh my
just like a collar.
God." One of the first 4 comments was like, "Oh my God, that looks really small in that picture." I immediately delete the picture. Immediately. God damn. Like, people think his head looks small, just take it down. So, but if you don't have that relationship with
Hey,
someone,
but this collar was obnoxious.
that was a beautiful collar.
Was it gaudy?
It wasn't
Terrible.
Louis, it was Gucci.
No, it was just, I mean, it just ate the dog clear up. Like,
It was
you're
it
like,
was
it
an
just ate it up.
My collar, dog collar, and it's like too much.
I'm
No,
super, super,
it
super,
looked
super.
good. It looked
I'm an
good. That was
ass
a
with
good picture.
pictures, you know, because
I still have it.
if everybody knew
That picture.
what they were talking about in our little dog community, it'd be one thing. We could have a little terrible picture once in a while, but they don't. So you produce 795 champions, work your ass off. Here's one picture of the dog in a collar, and everybody's like, "Don't breed to him. He's got a little head." They don't even know the dog, but 10 years ago, has a little head. Oh, you got little heads on your dogs? That's
Yeah,
why.
it was
5
very.
generations back. Yeah, guaranteed.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
one can make or break a dynasty.
I know a lot of breeders now that say once you own the dog, it belongs to you, and it does. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
But if, like I said earlier, if I'm your mentor, that's different than if I just sold you a dog. So
Mm-hmm.
if I sell you a dog and I'm not your mentor, you're probably a person that's not going to a show. You know what I'm saying? You're a pet home because I don't ever want to see you. I don't want you. You probably don't even know my real name. You know what I'm saying? Like, my daughter probably
Use an
not.
alias.
I'm gonna joke.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. I just don't. If I don't talk to you,
Nito, you've never seen me in a live. Yes, you have.
you should be honest with people. Like, yo, I sell dogs. The dogs that I know are going to be seen, I'm very picky about.
Yeah.
But I do have people that buy dogs from me that literally live down the street. I don't worry about them. They're not on Facebook. They don't.
I gotta go get a drink in a minute.
So I like that. Is that Mike talking to me?
No, but Mike is here in the house. But
Who
he
was
is.
talking to you?
Well, let me show you this.
Who is
This
that?
is a lady. This is my friend of many, many years who's watched this thing from the ground up. You know, and finally, when I'm about ready to retire, she's like, "Hey, I'd kind of like to see what you do."
What's her name? Let me
What?
see her.
I know. I met her in 1983.
Oh, why, Jamie? Why are you not putting her on camera? She's half a deer.
Right here. She's right here. Let her. She can have the floor.
No.
You don't have a wooden leg, do you?
No, she has, but she does have labradoodles. Okay, and she
damn. Get her
was
off
a
camera.
pet owner.
Get
Like
her
she was
off
a
the
fur
camera.
mom. You know.
I'm incredibly forgiving. I really am. I promise.
Oh
I did get one of her ABs years and years ago.
That dog was crazy on cocaine.
He was
No.
way crazy. He was way crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
American Bulldogs are crazy.
That was a way long ago.
Well, you know what, Jamie? I feel like I hogged up your live.
No, you didn't. No.
I'm gonna let y'all have a little bit of time
To think about it.
No,
we
not
enjoyed
just
this.
think about it, but to get real questions. And I'm sitting in the rain, and I guarantee you my car is not going to start because this light's been on for an hour.
Oh, no. Well,
Yeah, if I am stuck here, I promise you, I'm going to be pissed off.
yeah.
Well, Georgia.
We've probably taken up enough of everybody's time, you know. But like I said, we get off track. We get off track, but
yeah.
No,
you know, we just get off
You need
track.
at least, Jamie, you got to give them at least 5 more minutes.
Okay.
You, and I'm out.
I will. You got it.
By
I will.
5, I mean 30 minutes. But I
Okay.
have to try to get my car to start. I will talk to
Oh
y'all.
my God.
Thanks, Bully.
Hey, appreciate you, Bully. Hey, take care.
Right.
Please drive safe.
I will.
Okay.
Hey, take care, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, but you know, that's a little Shorty Bull story, and you know, I've told it so many times. I feel like, oh my gosh, I got to tell this boring story again to you guys. But I guess for some, you know, they don't know it.
No, we've been.
But you know, it was always supposed to be like a novelty or something that you know you had to work for. It wasn't like on every street corner, and it wasn't common. And
Yeah.
you know, that's what I always kind of wanted it for. And yeah, I mean, we protected it really hard, and you know,
That's good.
we really did.
That's a really, really good thing.
It's good for me. I think a lot of people don't understand it, you know, but to me, that's just really precious, and it's you don't find that a lot anymore, you know, today, and you know, I just think they're little treasures. Yeah.
Well, and like I had said earlier, it's just like I remember again, you know, from seeing my first one to being like, this is neat. I really want to know more about this. To actually physically meeting my first one and just loving her to pieces, and just you know, and at that point, it's just like, but at the same time, I was like, okay, well, I'm at my dog next, so like I can't.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
I can admire from afar.
Yeah.
But then, like as I'm watching it, I want to say this year has been really. There's one Shorty Bull whose name is escaping me right now, who is just killing it right now. And you know, I remember. I want to say within the last 2 months, having them win like a best in show at a bully registry.
Yeah,
that's
always a big deal.
I love it.
You know, it wasn't there for a while, but
yeah. And I just remember, like, I didn't care how many feathers were ruffled. I was like, that's a good looking dog.
Yeah, it's good to get stirred up. You know, it does. It keeps your blood pumping, and you know, you can learn from every breed. You can learn something from every breed. You know, you can it's just endless what we can learn. But even if you learn why you don't really care for a breed, then you learn something from that breed, you know? But yeah, we do have lots of limits today, you know, and that's just how it is, you know. I don't think that's going to change and go back.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it was just different times 10 years ago than it is today.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's really better in all ways, but some ways.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is it does feel like everything's just ever evolving. But that, just like you had mentioned earlier, sometimes that can cause a little bit of concern for your breed. Like, is this continuous evolution by breeders, their vision? Like, do you feel like that's going to, in some way, shape, or form, going to cause issues moving forward?
I don't really, just because we do have a specific goal that we're working for. We're not about, you know, making 1 million dogs. People say, well, I went such and such place and they didn't know what a Shorty Bull was and they've never heard of you. Okay, that's okay. You know, I want this to be right.
Yeah.
And when somebody gets it, I want it to be right. I want it to be durable. I want it to last. I want it to look like what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's easy to get it polluted with shows, with lives, with all this social media,
Yeah.
because everybody has a voice. And when someone doesn't know, who do they listen to? You know,
Yeah.
if we critique things nowadays, sometimes it's perceived as hate. It's not hate. You know, why would I hate on something else, man? I've done everything I want to do in dogs.
Yeah, gotta
I'm
have
not going
somebody.
to hate on somebody because of their dog, you know? I mean, that's just, but it happens. I'm not trying to preach to everybody and breathe down their neck like, I know, you don't know. I'm not trying to do that either. But a lot of times, there's just things that happen, and you're like, not good. That's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are they here for the long haul? I guess the long haul's 3 years. You know.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. Our dog world's changing, and I hate to get on this and end on this, but programs are becoming extinct. I'm a dinosaur in this. Nobody has this many dogs, you know, and has a program. It's all co-owned out, or it's 2 dogs or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way the world is now. Breeding is not the same when it's done that way. It's just not. You can find out in a few years when you see the productions, but it's not the same. It's not. And so things are going to change. But I mean, what hasn't changed, you know, without progress? I mean, if we progress, we change. So I don't know what's coming, but from all my years in dogs, I've seen a lot of things change. But if you want to have a breed, it's important to know the type and try to stick within that. There's plenty of room to stamp things and stay within the standard.
Right.
You know, a standard is not telling you don't have to do any of this, but if you want to compete and you want to show and you want a breed to go on,
This is it. These are your parameters within which to work.
Yeah, you need to know the type. You need to, you know, work towards that. And I think now that programs are so much about them, just, you know, by themselves. That's not how dogs work, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just you against the whole world.
Right.
You know, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's real hard to, you know, it's real hard to come together when, you know, we're just all, you know, this, that, and this is political, and this one won because he bred to this one and all that. Well, we're all so close, and, you know, it's all so close right here, even though it seems huge and everything. And, yeah, I mean, we're just learning and going along as we do, you know, but yeah, we've seen some good changes, and I think there's more to come, but I don't know what happens when there's not programs anymore. That just kind of makes me worried, you know, for breeds that want to stay, you know. I mean, because if you just have 2 dogs, I mean, you're going to have what, max 2 litters a year.
Yeah.
That's not a whole lot, you know. And we need breeders. Being a breeder is not a bad thing, you know. And I wish breeders would realize we do have rights. Yes, there are all different kinds of breeders, qualities of breeders, but we need breeders. Without breeders, we're not going to have dogs.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And
So.
I've always kind of said that, like, I know it's going to sound bad at first to say it this way, but obviously, you know, when you go through the actual thought process of it, it's like, obviously, when it comes to bullies specifically, we don't necessarily need more breeders, we need more advocates. But if those breeders just so happen to also be advocates, then we're in the win column. And funny enough, like, actually, Caleb is one of my favorite XL breeders for that reason. He plays the long game. Like, he has got his breeding stacked up the way he wants them to, generations in advance, because he's trying to get to that standard where literally, if you see a picture of that dog, you're not going to be able to tell whether or not it's a standard or an XL. And he has been working incredibly hard on every single breeding to get to that point. And his, like, the productions that he has been putting out with every single breeding, which is very strategic, by the way, like, they've been incredibly impressive. And so it's just one of those things where, like, every single time he gets excited about something, it's like one of those things where you're like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be really, really good. I never once have I ever had him be like, ooh, I'm thinking about this, and me be like,
right.
Because
Mhm.
so if you're looking at looking at it as in like, oh my gosh, I'm really afraid that certain programs are going,
Mhm.
Caleb ain't going nowhere.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
Like, Caleb ain't going
Mhm. That's
anywhere.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
But
Caleb knows how
yeah.
to get that locked down. So it's just one of those things where, like, when you say stuff like that, it's like I can totally see it, and it makes me very grateful for people that are willing to go through that endeavor to
True.
maintain the integrity of the breed standard
Right.
of their respective
Mhm.
breeds, just like you did. So it's it's pretty refreshing. So yeah, hopefully we don't lose programs because again, you know, people like
Mhm.
Caleb and his wife Nakai are killing it.
Yeah. Well, thank
Mhm.
you, Amanda. I appreciate that. And Jamie, thank you so much for tonight. You've been so humble with just your knowledge and how you
Oh
even
God,
said,
thank you.
you said it's not, I don't know everything. I just know what not to do. And I just,
Right.
you found a
Right.
way. So
Right.
thank,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for
You know, I wasn't
being,
afraid of making the mistakes and stuff, and I was in a place where, I had my dad challenge me all the time, and
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just cool. It was a great way to learn it. But the opportunity was priceless at the right time, and timing is so important in dogs. Timing is, you just fall into some stuff sometimes, and
yeah,
it's just like, wow, that's great. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go
yeah,
tonight. This last comment says they're looking mainly to make money, not dogs. Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people are doing that, but how are we correcting that? People think we talk about this only for the show ring, but where do people get their information? Everybody's getting their information right here.
yep,
This is where it's all come from.
yep,
So you call it show ring, you call it the lives, social media, whatever. We're all talking right here, you know. And some people just do it for the money, I guess. I can't imagine doing that, but I mean, there's always going to be those people.
Oh,
yeah,
I think we're just out of balance right now. I think that our little system is out of balance. Dogs are more popular than ever, so we
yeah,
have more brand new people with dogs. Um, we have more dogs than ever. We're going to have more problems than we had. It's
hmm,
just like that.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, with that.
So we just have to look at some other things.
yeah,
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that we always like to ask, like sort of as a final closure, is say you have someone that's just getting into the game. What is the biggest piece of advice you'd want to give somebody who's just getting into, for example, just getting
Okay.
into shorty bulls? Like if they came to you and said, "Hey, thinking about shorty bulls,
Mhm.
what's the
Well,
best
I
advice?"
changed this. I changed this as I progress in this thing.
That's
Okay. So what
perfect.
I'd say now is this right here. You don't have to breed dogs. It's fine if you don't ever breed.
yeah,
Just buy dogs. Just buy a couple. You don't have to breed. If you think you want to breed, just go right back there and talk with your mentor, the breeder you got them from, whatever. Everybody doesn't have to breed.
Yeah,
It's okay if everybody, don't buy a male and a female and think they're going to automatically grow up and be the two you want to
yeah,
match up.
right.
All those things, or just watch for a while. Go help a friend that has a dog. See if you want to do that. That's what she does. She was over here and helps me, and we're cleaning a whelping box or something terrible, and she's like, "Oh, wow, I'm glad I only have two
yeah.
dogs." Don't you? But you know what? I mean,
It's like
would you ever?
hyper blowout
Why didn't you ever
syndrome.
become a
Oh my
breeder?
God, worst day of my life. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask her something. Why didn't you ever become a breeder? You just didn't want to.
I was doing other things that were
Yeah,
my interest.
it's okay to not breed dogs. It's all right.
But I always have to have dogs.
But I think people see. I think they see people make money, or they see the people win, and who doesn't want to
Yeah.
do that? And they're like, "Oh, yeah, just have some puppies. Easy peasy. I got it."
No, I do
Yeah,
love her puppies though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not like that. So, I just tell them to watch for a while. We make it look easy. We say the good things, and but I mean, it's fun, but you got to be cut out for it.
Yes.
You know. You got to be cut out for. You got to have a lot of money that you're willing to lose, and it's not going to hurt. You know, if you're going to cry about losing that, don't do this. Don't.
Oh shit! Yeah, you got to be willing to lose some funds and just not expect to see it back.
Mm-hmm. I
Very
know.
good advice.
Well, you guys, thanks a million for having me on and for hearing the story, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Oh no, it's been an honor definitely having you on. Again, it was just one of those things where like not only was I interested in learning about the breed and about you and everything, it's just like we had so much interest in it after the
Wow.
several mentions that I was just like, there's just no way we couldn't at least try to
That's
have you
cool.
on. And I was just like, it has been fantastic. I'm very,
Well,
very,
good.
very, very honored that you agreed to come on.
Thank
So
you. We appreciate you.
You bet. You
All right,
guys.
y'all have a good night.
Take care.
you guys
Bye.
too. Thank you again.